On the immortal martial continent, inside a secret chamber of the Saint Yuan demon sect, bathed in an eerie purple glow and filled with iron chains and grotesque skulls. On a large bed, a man was pinned down tightly by a woman, weakly pleading, "Senior sister, please spare me." However, Chu Kaio-ran only pressed her full chest closer against him, whispering seductively, "That won't do." She smiled coquettishly, called him husband, and whispered, "Today is our wedding day. How could you bear to leave me all alone in an empty bed?" At this moment the man's inner voice echoed, "My name is Zhao Mu. It sounds tragicomic, but I am indeed a transmigrator." On top of him, Chu Kaio-ran was still writhing, blaming herself and wondering if her body was not enough to satisfy her husband. This twisted woman, who loved role-playing with different identities for her pleasure, suddenly drew back the curtain, revealing a collection of revealing, fiery outfits. "Then, I will change into another set, the less like your wife, the better. My tragedy began a year ago. Back then, I had just transmigrated to this continent, occupying the body of a wealthy young master from an aristocratic family, even dreaming of marrying a royal princess. Just when I thought I was about to reach the peak of my life, a group of evil cultivators from the Saint Yuan demon sect abducted me. I never anticipated that being a prisoner was just the prelude, and the real nightmare lay in this. My innate pure yang constitution was a supreme tonic for those practicing the 9-yin mysterious art. Zhao Mu was squeezed dry like a lowly servant, and the lives of miscellaneous disciples were worth less than weeds in their eyes. I became a living cauldron for them to drain my cultivation. Pulling his attention back to reality, Chu Kaio-ran gently and rhythmically swayed her hips, asking leisurely, "Husband, why haven't you joined in yet? Are you completely exhausted and unable to hold on any longer?" Zhao Mu painfully coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. Gritting his teeth, he mustered all his strength and roared, "I do not want to die yet." Her fair, delicate hand gently squeezed his throat. Chu Kaio-ran laughed with amusement. "To die at the hands of your senior sister, you should consider it an immense honor." Saying this, she pulled out a small porcelain bottle, popped the cap, and proudly introduced, "This is a solidifying yang pill. Refine it well to stimulate your pure yang constitution to its absolute limit." Her eyes gleamed with scheming. "Your wife's 9-yin mysterious art is about to break through, so husband, do not be stingy with that bit of pure yang qi." Zhao Mu was forced to swallow several pills. His consciousness gradually blurred, but the vixen's words still reached his ears. "Husband, if you help me break through, you can rest in peace even if you lose your life." Zhao Mu let out a muffled growl. "No, I don't want to, let me go." Ignoring his resistance, she enjoyed her pleasure, not forgetting to tell him to try harder while Zhao Mu's consciousness was shattering. Was I going to die from being squeezed dry by a vixen before even getting to appreciate the beauty of this era? His hands clenched so tightly they bled, and his mind screamed with unwilling resentment. Right at this moment, the system interface flashed like a savior, strong desire for survival detected. "The 10,000-fold return system has successfully awakened. Please bind, host." His battered consciousness, grasping at a lifeline, immediately agreed. "A system, after a whole year," Zhao Mu rejoiced inwardly. "This system operates on the principle, every gift yields a return. Any act of giving by the host will trigger the return mechanism, with a maximum critical multiplier of up to 10,000 times." A proud smile finally appeared on his handsome face. The time to turn the tables had come. Binding complete. Due to the late arrival of the system, a compensatory reward is being issued. Perhaps because of the intense excitement from the system, or the new power reforming his body, Chu Kaio-ran suddenly gasped and groaned. "Junior brother, your mouth says no, but your body is being so honest." Zhao Mu's eyes burst with brilliant vitality. "Damned temptress, I had to cast aside my dignity and live like a lowly miscellaneous disciple just to survive day by day. Tonight, I will serve you properly, senior sister." He turned the tables, pinning her shoulders down and pressing her onto the bed. Chu Kaio-ran was not afraid at all. Instead, she giggled and teased, "Husband, remember to be gentle and show me some mercy." While exerting himself, he swore to heaven and earth that since he now had a chance to change his fortune, He would definitely shape his own destiny with his own hands. The enchantress whispered a few more seductive words to heat up the atmosphere. "Husband, tonight this place belongs only to you." As dawn broke, Zhao Mu felt completely exhausted, as if his very marrow had been drained, while Chu Kaio ran stretched and woke up feeling refreshed. She left behind a word of praise. "Although your bit of pure yang energy was barely enough, your performance last night was quite commendable. It's just a pity about my solidifying yang pills. If you survive, I will definitely come back to have some fun with you." She put on her clothes and gracefully departed. As soon as the door closed, Zhao Mu broke into a delighted smile. A vast surge of power flooded directly into his dantian. "Your pure yang was absorbed by the nine-tailed enchanting fox. The system has triggered a 10,000-fold critical return. Congratulations, host, on fusing with the Scarlet Yang sacred body. Beginning cultivation empowerment. Congratulations to the host on breaking through to Qi Refining Stage 3, Qi Refining Stage 4. With energy surging through his veins, Zhao Mu clenched his fists, inwardly marveling at the power of the sacred body. Regaining his composure, he fell into deep thought. Now was not the time to show off his power. Powerful masters in the Saint Yuan demon sect were as common as mushrooms after rain. If his identity were exposed, his end might be even worse than being a cultivation cauldron. He had to seize the time when no one was watching to build up his strength. Spirit stones were the foundation of cultivation. With this Scarlet Yang sacred body, if I do some part-time work for those senior sisters, I could probably make a fortune, right? But he immediately dismissed the idea. No way, I have a system now, I need to think bigger. Besides, those senior sisters are dirt poor. What's the point of getting just 3 or 4 spirit stones at a time? He sighed with worry, racking his brain for a way to quickly earn spirit stones. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he spotted Wang Chan, a disciple of the Hehuan sect who was diligently practicing. Zhao Mu stroked his chin, recalling that when he had first joined the sect, Wang Chan had looked after him a bit. Now was the time to repay the favor. If I give him all the 200 spirit stones I saved up over the past year, the system will definitely return a fortune. Acting on his thought, he threw the bag of spirit stones directly at the other's face. Wang Chan caught the bag in confusion and muttered, "These are spirit stones." The naive young man cupped his hands to the sky. "Surely my sincerity in day and night of hard cultivation has moved some great expert to bestow this reward upon me." The system's voice chimed. "You have gifted 200 spirit stones, triggering a 500-fold critical return." A massive amount of spirit stones flooded into his inventory, making Zhao Mu ecstatic. 100,000 spirit stones, earning 100,000 in an instant, money falling from the sky is real. An even greater ambition flashed in his mind. What is 100,000? If I get a 10,000-fold multiplier, I will have 2 million. Just wait, in the future, I will definitely make those who humiliated me spit out 100 times, a 10,000 times more. He had another bold idea. If I use the spirit stones returned by the system to gift again, can I exploit it for more rewards? And so, another rain of spirit stones poured down on Wang Chan. The young man did not suspect a thing, only cheering with joy. "Oh my God, a rain of spirit stones. I, Wang Chan, have met my destined benefactor." He muttered vows to himself. "Rest assured, senior, this junior will cultivate like crazy and definitely not let you down." Behind the wall, Zhao Mu grimaced and scratched his head as the system remained silent. As expected, there's no bypassing the system's rules. Suddenly, a female voice called out, "Junior brother Zhao." A woman holding a sword stepped forward cautiously and asked, "You are actually still alive?" Zhao Mu quickly recalled her name in his mind, Lu Qi. He cupped his hands in greetings, senior sister Lu. Standing under the scrutinizing gaze of this outer sector woman who practiced the 9-yin mysterious art, he recalled the past. She used to care about him a lot, but ever since she was threatened by Chu Kaio Ran, she had vanished without a trace. Lu Qi sized him up and remarked, "Your cultivation has progressed quite a bit lately. It seems your pure yang constitution is much stronger than I thought." He waved his hand humbly. "You flatter me, senior sister. I just got a bit lucky. Lu Qi suddenly grabbed his wrist tightly and said urgently, cut the pleasantries. Chu Cairo ran is in closed-door cultivation to break through. You must make use of these few days to help me cultivate. She summoned her flying sword and urged, get on quickly. The sword flew through the wind at a terrifying speed, forcing a panicked Zhao Mu to wrap his arms tightly around Lu Qi's waist. Senior sister, slow down a bit. Lu Qi's cheeks flushed red as she asked curiously, having ignored you for a few months, your cultivation and aura have changed astoundingly. Did you get some treasure from that vixen Chu Cairo ran? Zhao Mu smiled bitterly and frowned. Senior sister Chu is ruthless. How could I have the fortune to obtain her treasure? Lu Qi advised with a serious face. None of those demons are good. If you keep clinging to her, sooner or later your yang will be drained and you will die. Her gaze fixed steadily ahead. Once I successfully form my core, I will issue a challenge to her. If I win from then on, you are mine. Hearing this, Zhao Mu held her even tighter, sweet-talking her. Then I will have to rely on senior sister Lu's protection. Lu Qi reminded him shyly, you are holding me too tightly. But inside, Zhao Mu sneered, what do you mean yours? Do you bastards really think of me as a piece of merchandise? Before long, both of them landed in the inner sect area of the Saint Yuan demon sect. Lu Qi walked into the room and laid out her terms. I am on the verge of core formation. If you help me pass this barrier smoothly, I will reward you with an origin pill. Instructing him, she moved to the inner room. Take a seat and rest, I am going to bathe first. Hearing this, Zhao Mu stroked his chin with a wicked smile. Inside, Lu Qi shed her clothes, immersing herself in the warm water. She let out a soft sigh, filled with hope. Without any troublemakers this time, I will definitely. Before she could finish, Zhao Mu suddenly loomed right behind her. Definitely what? Lu Qi jumped in shock, covering her body and crying out, you bastard, why did you barge in here without permission? Zhao Mu kept a straight face and casually stepped into the bath. Time is precious, bathing together is faster. He wrapped his arms around Lu Qi from behind, his voice soft and enchanting. Then let's begin. Your 9-yin mysterious art is indeed wonderful, senior sister. Lu Qi, also lost in pleasure, gasped, your pure yang constitution is also incredibly dominant, junior brother. An hour passed. Zhao Mu gasped for breath, glancing at the exhausted Lu Qi and teasing. I never expected senior sister Lu to practice such a mysterious art and still retain. Lu Qi hastily cut him off. It's fine that you know, but you are forbidden from saying it out loud. Zhao Mu quickly comforted her. All right, it's wonderful, really wonderful. Lu Qi rested her head against the edge of the tub, her eyes tinged with sadness. I have to get married next month. She turned to look at him. The person's name is Long Tian Xiang, you probably know of him. Zhao Mu startled and sat up straight. Long Tian Xiang. He not only knew him, but knew him thoroughly. That man reached the nascent soul realm before the age of 30, was hailed as a once-in-a-millennium genius of the Saint Yuan demon sect, and had even comprehended sword intent on his own. His name was tied to the prodigy rankings, known to everyone. Zhao Mu broke into a cold sweat, muttering, provoking such a great figure, if he finds out I gave him a green hat, wouldn't that cause massive trouble? Lu Qi slid closer, placing her hand on his chest, casually revealing the secret. Do not worry. Long Tian Xiang suffered qi deviation while practicing an ancient sword art, and his meridians were severed, making him a eunuch long ago. As long as I keep my mouth shut, no one in the world will know. She gave him an affectionate gaze. Besides, if it weren't for genuine love, do you think I would hand over my most precious possession to you? Hearing this, Zhao Mu affectionately called out, Senior sister. They locked together again in a wet, lingering kiss. He cleared his throat, pretending to be urgent. You are about to break through, senior sister, we must continue working hard. Lu Qi could only scold him affectionately, you silly fool. Early the next morning, while Lu Qi was still fast asleep, Zhao Mu was already awake and checking the system interface. It's here. The system recorded that the pure yang power was drained, triggering an 800-fold critical return. The limits of his scarlet yang sacred body were significantly elevated, and the surging spiritual energy made him ecstatic. Congratulations to the host on breaking through to the foundation establishment realm. Zhao Mu clenched his fists, calculating, just in the blink of an eye, I have entered the foundation establishment realm. At this rate, even if I have to face Long Tianxiang or the entire Long family, I won't be afraid. Suddenly, remembering their agreement, he shook Lu Qi's shoulder. Senior sister, wake up, where is my reward? Sleepily, she tossed him a porcelain bottle, muttering, you are too tireless, I'm exhausted, let me sleep a bit more. Zhao Mu turned the bottle upside down, his eyes lighting up. 10 whole origin nourishing pills. Senior sister Lu is indeed generous. Gently rubbing the medicine bottle, a scheme began to brew. I have to gift pills to get rewards anyway, so why bother looking for outsiders? With that in mind, he squeezed Lu Qi's mouth and shoved an origin nourishing pill straight inside. Tin gifted a Tier 2 origin nourishing pill, triggering a 30-fold critical return, obtained a Tier 3 origin nourishing pill. Zhao Mu curled his lips in disappointment, only 30-fold, how stingy. Looking at the remaining 9 pills, he decided to go big. 9 more tries, even if I don't get 10,000, I should at least get a 1,000-fold multiplier. He poured all the remaining pills into the sleeping Lu Qi's mouth. Ding gifted Tier 2 pills, triggering a 3,000-fold critical return. Lu Qi swallowed the pills. Though she hadn't woken up, her complexion turned visibly rosy. Looking at the pill that had just appeared in his hand, Zhao Mu burst into a bright laugh. Jackpot, a Tier 7 marrow cleansing pill. This is top-tier stuff. He analyzed that, while the origin nourishing pill only consolidated foundations, the marrow cleansing pill possessed the ability to completely reform one's body, drastically upgrading one's cultivation aptitude. Examining his body, he knew his pure yang constitution was considered outstanding among mortals. But compared to the geniuses of the demon sect, it was like a firefly next to the moon. To dominate the world, reforming his bone structure was essential. He threw back his head and swallowed the marrow cleansing pill. The medicinal power exploded violently, astonishing him, and he immediately sat cross-legged to guide his qi, to refine the rampaging energy that was cleansing every inch of his meridians. A moment later, Lu Qi was awakened by a foul stench. My goodness, why do you smell so terrible? Go take a bath quickly. Zhao Mu only then noticed the impurities that had been expelled, hastily replying, I will go wash up right away. He walked into the bathroom, condensing spiritual energy into a stream of water to rinse himself thoroughly. Lu Qi curiously parted the curtain and stepped in, her eyes widening. You have reached foundation establishment. Could the origin nourishing pill be this miraculous? She reached out to caress his firm abs, turning suspicious. But just reaching foundation establishment shouldn't cleanse your body to such a pure state. You are hiding some strange pill from me, aren't you? Zhao Mu broke into a cold sweat, thinking this was bad. If the Tier 7 marrow cleansing pill was exposed, how would he explain it? To distract her, he pressed Lu Qi against the door frame, changing the subject. Isn't this all thanks to our dual cultivation, senior sister? But it looks like you still haven't reached the verge of core formation. Flustered, she called out, you. Zhao Mu exhaled warm air into her ear. Perhaps because I didn't work hard enough, let me put in more effort to help you for another round. Lu Qi scolded in panic. You are crazy, do you not care about your life anymore? He replied roguishly. It is all so senior sister can break through sooner. After an earth-shattering session of lovemaking, Lu Qi was as weak as a limp noodle. Zhao Mu leisurely put on his clothes and stepped out. Keep cultivating in seclusion, senior sister, I will take my leave now. The system brought good news again. Your pure yang was drawn by Lu Qi, triggering a 10-fold critical return. The scarlet yang power has increased by 1 tier. His steps down the mountain were light as a feather, his heart filled with delight. Is this the power of foundation establishment? My movements are incredibly agile. Looking up at the sky with pride, he thought, once I acquire a flying sword, I can ride it through the sky, wandering freely everywhere. At the outer sect market area, the female shopkeeper warmly handed Zhao Mu a flying sword, her voice welcoming. Fellow Taoist is indeed generous, thank you for your patronage. He toyed with the new weapon, nodding in approval. This star-clad sword is forged from outer realm meteoric iron, with a star spring formation engraved on the blade, allowing it to extract astral power to enhance damage. Putting away the sword, his mind raced again. This item is worth 30,000 spirit stones. If I gift it, how many times will the multiplier return? After taking a few steps, a gruff voice called out to stop him. Hey, you fair-skinned boy, I've finally caught you. Zhao Mu glanced at the speaker, searching his memory. Tai Niu. This guy was an outer sect disciple with bull demon lineage and one of Chu Cairo Ran's loyal followers. In the past, he had caused trouble a few times but was stopped by that vixen. Seeing Tai Niu looking murderous, Zhao Mu had an idea. This guy was also in the Foundation establishment realm, with physical strength superior to humans, making him a perfect punching bag to test his new power. Tai Niu was so angry his face turned red, rushing forward to grab Zhao Mu's collar, roaring, Your Master Niu heard rumors that you've been secretly fooling around with senior sister Chu again. How bold of you. Zhao Mu coldly brushed his hand away, lifting his chin. So what if I did? Tai Niu gritted his teeth. You brat, you're asking for death. He channeled power into his fist, swinging a punch straight at his face. I will send you to meet the king of hell. Without changing his expression, Zhao Mu casually reached out with one hand and caught the heavy blow. He smirked provocatively. So sorry, but I still value this life of mine to enjoy pleasure with senior sister Chu. Tai Niu stared in shock. You have also reached Foundation establishment. Resentment caused the bull demon to wildly unleash his spiritual energy. Don't think breaking through gives you the right to stand on equal footing with me. He continuously unleashed a tempest of punches, roaring, Witness the might of Master Niu. Zhao Mu merely shrugged, commenting, Your strength is indeed not small, but your speed is lacking too much. Tai Niu snapped, Shut up. While dodging the blows effortlessly, Zhao Mu inwardly praised the Scarlet Yang sacred body. Having just broken through, he was already easily overpowering a top 100 outer sect expert. Feeling bored, he swatted away the opponent's attack and snapped, Enough noise, let's end this. Tai Niu stumbled backward, his face turning pale as a sheet. What? Zhao Mu channeled power into his right hand, delivering a powerful punch that sent the bull demon flying backward. His bull demon underlings scrambled in panic to support their leader. Boss Niu, are you all right? What kind of drug did this brat take to be this strong? They still tried to act tough. Kid, how dare you touch our boss? Do you not know Master Niu's status in the sect? Zhao Mu acted as if suddenly reminded. Oh, thank you for reminding me. He formed a hand seal, shouting, Go. The flying sword shot out, stabbing deep into the ground right next to Tai Niu. The boss broke into a cold sweat, stammering, do you mean? Zhao Mu turned his back and walked away, throwing back a cold reply. That sword is worth 30,000 spirit stones. Consider it enough to cover your medical expenses. The system immediately announced, Ding, gifted a Tier 2 flying sword, triggering a 1,000-fold critical return. Obtained a Tier 5 flying sword, Heavenly Star Calendar. Zhao Mu clicked his tongue, only Tier 5, I'll make do with it for now. Seeing his back turned, the two lackeys wanted to launch a sneak attack. Zhao Mu unleashed an oppressive aura, his voice cold. Trash who do not know life from death, do not blame me for being merciless. Before he could make a move, two sword chi sliced through the air from the void, striking the two bull demons and sending them to their knees, wailing, It hurts, who sneak attacked us. A young girl sheathed her sword and stepped forward with an annoyed look. You pests are acting like victims when you are the thieves. Mu Jiu Ling stood with her hands on her hips, declaring boldly, I saw with my own eyes that you were the ones who attempted a sneak attack. She shrank her flying sword and stepped in front of Zhao Mu, pointing her finger and scolding, Zhao Mu, you are too careless. I have warned you repeatedly, you must pull up weeds by the roots. The two bull demons snapped back with resentment. Smelly woman, you speak so arrogantly, do you know who our boss is? Mu Jiu Ling released a mountain of pressure, looking down at them as if they were ants. I am Mu Jiu Ling, any objections? Hearing that name, the two lackeys turned pale, looked at each other, and ran for their lives. She is an inner sect senior sister, run fast before she remembers our faces. It was all the boss's fault. We are innocent. Mu Jiu Ling crossed her arms and sneered. What a bunch of cowards. She turned around and poked her finger against Zhao Mu's chest. And you? In confusion, he pointed at his own face, me. Mu Jiu Ling grabbed his arm, her cheeks flushing red as she grumbled. Did you lose your memory? I told you that if anything happens, just use my name to threaten them. She muttered, it's a good thing I was wandering nearby. If you died, who would I marry? Zhao Mu didn't know whether to laugh or cry, wondering in his mind. Ever since he joined the demon sect, this little girl had been constantly following him. Could she also covet his pure yang constitution? Or was she simply infatuated with his God-given good looks? Heavenly Yuan demon sect, Mu Jiu Ling. Zhao Mu reached out and pinched her cheek, laughing. Those thugs probably wouldn't believe in their dreams that you could look this adorable. He comforted her softly. Come on, I am not that easy to kill. Mu Jiu Ling brightened up. Of course, how could my future husband be in danger? She grabbed his hand and dragged him along. Follow me. Mu Jiu Ling formed a hand seal, taking Zhao Mu soaring into the sky. His eyes widened in surprise. Walking on air without a sword was a method of core formation masters. Glancing at the girl beside him, his mind raced with suspicion. Just what realm is this girl hiding? They both landed in a mountain valley, rich in spiritual energy. Zhao Mu took a deep breath, guessing, with such abundant spiritual energy, this must be the core holy land of the heavenly Yuan demon sect. Could she be a legacy disciple? Mu Jiu Ling pushed open the door and waved him in. Come in, this is my home. He looked around and asked, You live here? She smiled broadly. I just come here once in a while to read and nap. I don't visit that often. Saying this, she threw herself onto the soft bed, rolling around, and waved at him. What are you standing there for? Come here quickly. Zhao Mu blushed and immediately went on the defensive. Don't make trouble, my self-control is very weak. Mu Jiu Ling frowned, sat up and pouted. You flirt, your head is filled with dirty thoughts. She threw 2 cultivation manuals directly at him. Here, for you. He caught them, realizing they were the true chapter of flying sword control and the 1 Qi mysterious heart sword art. Zhao Mu asked happily, How did you know I wanted to practice flying sword control? Mu Jiu Ling explained with a smile, Seeing you run off to the market to buy a flying sword right after breaking through to Foundation establishment, I guessed you wanted to fly. She threw another exquisite sword to him. Take this flying sword too, a tier 4 weapon with ice attributes called Silver Frost. She shrugged and sighed. I think your pure yang is too fiery, so this sword is perfect to suppress that evil fire and stop you from thinking about those dirty things. Zhao Mu gave a forced laugh. Then you are indeed very thoughtful. Mu Jiu Ling stepped off the bed and advised warmly. All right, for the next few days, you just stay here and cultivate your sword in seclusion. I will help handle any other troubles. Since you have reached Foundation establishment, discard your status as a miscellaneous disciple. I will register your promotion to outer sect status in a bit. The suspicion in Zhao Mu's heart reached its peak, and he asked seriously, Little girl, who are you really? Mu Jiu Ling walked to the door, only then turning her head to tease, the person you will have to marry sooner or later. The door closed. Zhao Mu smiled faintly and remarked, This girl is really good at flirting. Clearing his mind, he flipped open the true chapter of flying sword control to begin training. Forget it, let's prioritize flying sword control first. After a period of deep meditation and intense training, Zhao Mu collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath. I even swallowed a marrow cleansing pill to upgrade my aptitude, so why is learning this still so incredibly hard? He sat up, his mind in a jumble. Could it be that the pill only altered my physical body and not my comprehension? Zhao Mu scratched his head. With a system in his hands, how could he cultivate with such terrible comprehension? Just then, a tamed beast ran past, accidentally locking eyes with him. A bright idea flashed in his mind. If giving away primordial yang triggers a critical return, what about imparting knowledge? Smiling slyly, he grabbed the tamed beast. Little fellow, you look quite free, why don't we? He began to babble lectures, regardless of whether the animal understood. I will teach you how to memorize the multiplication table. The system immediately rang out, "Ding, you have educated a tamed beast and imparted knowledge, triggering a 100-fold return. The host's comprehension has surged." Zhao Mu widened his eyes in delight. Is it real? He quickly returned to deep cultivation. Just a short while later, he opened his eyes. Controlling the flying sword smoothly, the cultivation art that was obscure at first, I have now almost fully comprehended it. But on second thought, Zhao Mu still sighed. This small increase in comprehension was still not enough for a transmigrator in this harsh demon sect world. His eyes shifted back to the tamed beast lying in the corner. He snatched it, smiling gently. Seeing that you absorb the lessons well, your master will nurture you with a new subject called geometric theorems. Another round of ear torture followed. Ding, imparted calculus knowledge, triggering a 100-fold return. Comprehension has surged. The current comprehension value has reached the limit of your realm and cannot be increased further. Zhao Mu raised his eyebrows in surprise. Wow, even comprehension has a ceiling. He touched the pile of secret manuals on the shelf. With his current infinitic brain, sweeping through this collection was a piece of cake. He channeled his power to condense spiritual energy, performing a series of moves from Vajra Fist to Gale Crimson Thunder art, making the tamed beast scurry away in absolute terror. In a flash, he had even learned the 3 talents 6 fates divination art. Zhao Mu tossed the book back onto the shelf board. All low-grade yellow-rank cultivation arts, way too crude for me now. He suddenly remembered Wang Chan. But since I have memorized them, if I copy them down and distribute them for charity, I will definitely reap a heap of return rewards. Just then, the tamed beast came forward with a piece of bone in its mouth, whimpering a few times. He patted its head. "You're giving me this bone." The animal nodded in response. Zhao Mu took the object and laughed. "Well, thank you, I'll use it to make hot soup later." But upon closer inspection, he discovered words carved on it. Chaotic primordial mysterious art. He sat down, muttering with interest. I didn't expect the little fellow to know how to gift a cultivation art to me. Right at that moment, the cultivation art automatically integrated into his head. Zhao Mu suddenly clutched his head in excruciating pain. Gritting his teeth to endure, but in the end, he still spat out blood. He glared at the chaotic primordial mysterious art, roaring in anger. Damn it! Even though my comprehension is maxed out at the foundation establishment level, I still cannot comprehend this thing. Could it be an earth grade, or even a heaven grade cultivation art? Mu Jiu Ling pushed open the door just in time. And seeing him spitting blood, she rushed over in a panic to support him. Zhao Mu, what's wrong with you? It's all my fault, giving you such difficult cultivation arts as soon as I arrived. He forced a smile. It's not like that. Mu Jiu Ling placed some food on the table, helping him sit down. Cultivation cannot be rushed. I brought some food, fill your stomach first. She picked up a piece of food and brought it to his lips. Let me feed you. Zhao Mu opened his mouth to chew, his brain starting to calculate again. Mu Jiu Ling is right here. Why don't I just gift this troublesome thing to her to exploit the system? He held out the piece of bone containing the chaotic primordial mysterious art. This cultivation art is a gift for you. See if you can comprehend anything from it. Mu Jiu Ling glanced at it and was shocked to recognize it. Chaotic primordial mysterious art. Where did you steal this from? He said honestly. That little spirit beast gave it to me. It's too profound for me to learn, so I'm giving it to you. The system's voice chimed. Ding, gifted an earth-grade cultivation art, triggering a 60-fold critical return. Obtained a high-grade earth-rank cultivation art. Primordial Yang mysterious art. Zhao Mu was overjoyed. The system continued to announce. Ding, detected that the primordial Yang mysterious art is highly compatible with the Scarlet Yang sacred body. Would the host like to receive the empowerment immediately? He hastily pressed decline. I will deal with it later. He sneaked a glance at Mu Jiu Ling, thinking that the empowerment process would take time and he couldn't let her suspect anything. Only then did Mu Jiu Ling realize, flying into a rage and scolding the tamed beast, You wretched dog, how dare you steal my cultivation art? You almost killed my future husband. Zhao Mu looked bewildered. Killed me. Mu Ling carefully stowed away the chaotic dark mystery art, let out a breath, and explained, "Thank goodness you didn't force your way through cultivation. You have a pure yang constitution, and this dark mystery art carries chaotic attributes. These two things both complement and clash with each other. If you stubbornly tried to absorb it, your meridians would snap one by one, and you'd burst and die." Zhao Mu broke out in a cold sweat, his spine chilled, and only then did he realize, so that's it. It wasn't that my comprehension was poor, but that this cultivation method is incompatible with my sacred body. Mu Ling hooked her arm over his shoulder and cooed softly, "Your constitution is far too unique. Rare indeed is the supreme art that truly fits you, so I'll have to spend some effort searching. In the meantime, just absorb a few basic techniques. Small steps add up to a solid foundation." Zhao Mu turned and pulled Mu Ling into his arms, throwing her a probing, wavering glance. "You treat me so generously, miss. What scheme are you really cooking up?" She caressed his cheek and laughed. "Isn't my ambition pinned on you obvious enough?" Mu Ling casually fingered the red cord on his chest and asserted softly, "Zhao Mu, from now on you're branded as mine." Playing with his hair, she coaxed, "Just nod and become my cultivation partner, and I swear I'll protect you in the holy Yuan demon sect, plenty to eat and wear, and no one dares lay a finger on you." In the midst of that sweet intimacy, a heavy oppressive force accompanied by a furious roar descended. A violent surge of true qi tore through the air, leveling the sunlit courtyard. Before Zhao Mu could steady himself, he was crushed face down into the ground. Mu Ling cried out in panic, calling his name. Gritting his teeth, he struggled to lift his head and cursed inwardly, "What terrifying pressure is this? Who's ruining the moment?" Mu Ling cried out in alarm, "Master, why have you come here?" Zhao Mu's eyes went wide too, "Master." And Zai Xuan, carrying a chill, murderous aura, demanded coldly, "What's the matter?" The revered master, bearing her fangs of authority, continued, "You're resentful that I interrupted your little romantic dalliance, aren't you?" Mu Ling clasped her hands trembling, "Disciple would never dare." And Zai Xuan landed, blazing with fury, and scolded, "Jiu Ling, you are the trusted one I had the highest hopes for. I had already paved the way for you to become the sect's holy maiden." The master swept her gaze to Zhao Mu with utter disdain. "And look what you've done. Not only do you neglect your cultivation, you dare to sneak a menial disciple into your chambers to fool around and flirt." Zhao Mu frowned in shock, silently assessing, no wonder this girl had such audacity. The holy maiden at the top of the sect is her master. Mu Ling hastily knelt and apologized. "Master, please calm down. Disciple knows she was wrong." And Zai Xuan sent a flying sword down onto the stone steps, her voice piercing like ice. "Since you know you're wrong, I'll give you a way out." The sword stuck quivering into the ground, and the master decreed, "Personally finish off this menial disciple, sever your attachments, and obediently return with me to Purple Cloud Peak for 30 years of seclusion to temper your mind." Mu Ling threw herself at Zai Xuan's knees, sobbing and taking all the blame. "This has nothing to do with Zhao Mu, if you force me to kill him." She choked out through tears, "My heart would shatter, and my path of cultivation would likely falter and never advance." And Zai Xuan frowned, her murderous aura billowing, and ground out each word, "Are you threatening me?" Instantly, the ground where Mu Ling knelt cracked open under the master's formidable divine will. Zhao Mu quickly mobilized his spiritual energy and threw himself toward Mu Ling in utter shock. How infuriating! Was this holy maiden really about to strike down her own beloved disciple? Mu Ling coughed up blood but still weakly called out, "Master." Zhao Mu immediately poured his inner energy into her, and Mu Ling looked at him frail and called his name softly. He wrapped his arms around her from behind and urged, "Quickly, absorb my spiritual energy." Right at that moment, and Zai Xuan's expression flickered, and she murmured, "Not just any pure yang body. If my eyes aren't mistaken, this brat seems to have awakened the Crimson Sun's sacred body." Zhao Mu helped Mu Ling stand upright and replied with a proud caress, "Worthy of a holy maiden, your discerning eye is indeed sharp." And Zai Xuan hesitated briefly, muttering, "The Crimson Sun's sacred body is 1 in 10,000. It seems the man Ling has set her sights on has some prospects." Upon hearing this, Mu Ling playfully punched Zhao Mu's chest, overjoyed. You fool! If I'd known you had such a rare constitution, I'd have tied you down and forced you onto the bed a long time ago. And Zai Xuan coughed a few times, and Mu Ling suddenly remembered her decorum and hastily said, Master, disciples spoke out of turn. Zhao Mu chuckled and added, She rambles like that all the time, Your Holiness. And Zai Xuan waved her hand and turned away. Enough. For Jiu Ling's sake, I'll spare your little life today. Drag yourself back to the outer sect and cultivate. Don't come looking for Jiu Ling until you've reached the primal realm. With that, Mu Ling was swept away by a gust of wind with her master. Zhao Mu wiped the sweat from his forehead and finally recovered. That was spine-chilling. If that holy maiden had wanted to kill me, she could have done it with a mere blink. He gritted his teeth and swore to himself, My strength absolutely must reach the pinnacle. Back at the menial courtyard, Zhao Mu entered his room, laid out the flying sword and the pure Yang Dark Mystery Art Manual, and muttered, This trip brushed past the gates of hell, but at least I gained a supreme technique and a precious fourth-rank sword. Sitting down on the bed, he called out, System, let's begin. The system hummed steadily, understood, system initiating infusion. Zhao Mu clearly felt the violent surge of spiritual power in his blood. So this is the perfect combination of technique and sacred body. Suddenly, the system warned that the surrounding spiritual energy was depleted, and asked if he wanted to automatically consume spirit stones to maintain progress. Zhao Mu confirmed, and instantly, a mountain of spirit stones materialized behind him. All that wealth hovered in the air, dissolved into pure white streams, and burrowed straight into his body. As night fell, Zhao Mu only then slowly withdrew from his practice. Looking back at his stash, he was stunned to find it completely vanished. 70,000 spirit stones saved over the years, all used up in a single night. But when he checked his dantian, he smacked his lips in satisfaction, jumped straight to Foundation Establishment 3rd level in just one evening. That investment was well worth it. Stepping outside, he stretched his limbs and thought, the urgent task now is to find a way to earn more. Just then, several menial disciples at the 8th level of Qi condensation blocked his way and called out sharply. Hu Qiang grinned slyly and shamelessly asked, I hear Sister Chu has been handing you some nice loot lately, huh? He released his spiritual pressure, lifted his chin, and demanded, So aren't you going to treat your brothers here to a little share? Looking at Hu Qiang's face, Zhao Mu suddenly recalled his nasty track record. Leaning on his cultivation, this guy constantly bullied newbies in the courtyard, doing all sorts of crooked things. Once, a newcomer refused him and was beaten to death that very night. Though he knew that, Zhao Mu still pointed straight at his face and taunted, Hu Qiang, you lowlife who specializes in extortion, you must have quite a fortune stashed away, right? Hu Qiang clenched his fists, his face ashen, and retorted, What the hell does my spirit stones have to do with you? With that, he lunged like a wild beast, claws out to grab him. I think you're just itching for a beating. Zhao Mu sidestepped smoothly and curled his lip in disdain, too slow. With that speed, you want to touch my clothes. As he spoke, he threw a devastating punch, packing several times the power. Open your eyes and learn. The two henchmen with him froze in shock and cried, Boss, you okay? Hu Qiang clutched his swollen face and stammered in disbelief, You broke through to Foundation Establishment. Zhao Mu dusted off his hands and raised his chin smugly. Isn't it obvious enough? Hu Qiang, burning with rage, roared, You idiots standing there like statues, all of you get him. The two lackeys nodded eagerly and rushed in for a joint attack. Zhao Mu stepped back lightly, his movement as soft as a feather. The onlookers started murmuring, I didn't expect Junior Zhao Mu to advance to Foundation Establishment so fast. He's still wet behind the ears, though, one against 3 seasoned Qi condensation disciples. He's bound to taste defeat. Wang Chan, watching anxiously, shouted, Junior Zhao, be careful. Zhao Mu calmly formed a seal, took a deep breath, then flicked his hand, sending a gale that knocked the two bearded men tumbling backward. Get lost! Hu Qiang, in a fit of fury, transformed into a ferocious tiger and pounced. You bastard! He roared like a madman, Go to hell! Zhao Mu didn't even blink. He turned, gathered his inner strength, and flashed a mocking smile. Then threw a lightning-fast fatal punch that sent Hu Qiang flying miles away. The tiger collapsed to the ground, utterly powerless. Hu Qiang clawed at the dirt and cursed in resentment. "Zhao Mu, just you wait." Before he finished, Zhao Mu leaped and stomped straight onto his head, grounding him further and snapping, "Shut up." The crowd burst into thunderous applause. "Brother Zhao, you're amazing. You've vented all our pent-up frustration. These tiger bullies were used to running rampant, but now they've hit a rock." Zhao Mu raised his hand to signal, "Hold on, friends." He stripped Hu Qiang's spirit stone pouch clean, cleared his throat, and announced with satisfaction, "All these assets were taken by these bullies through oppression. Today, Zhao Mu will return them to their rightful owners." He flung his hand, and a rain of spirit stones scattered around. Everyone was moved to tears of gratitude. "Long live Zhao Mu, oh my, so many spirit stones." The system chimed, ding, granted 9,000 spirit stones, triggered thousandfold critical return, received 1,000,000 spirit stones. Zhao Mu was thrilled inside. From now on, his path of cultivation would never be poor again. He walked over and patted Wang Chan's shoulder, pulling out a pill. "Brother Wang, since I first arrived in the courtyard, you've taken good care of me. This little something is a token of thanks." Wang Chan examined it and exclaimed in surprise, "Wow, a qi condensation pill." Wang Chan shook his head and declined, "No way, this is too precious. I can't accept it." But Zhao Mu quickly popped it into his friend's mouth and muttered, "Less talk, just swallow it." The system alerted again, ding, granted 1 qi condensation pill, triggered 100-fold return, received 1 second-grade foundation establishment pill. Zhao Mu smiled and rubbed his hands in satisfaction. Wang Chan nearly choked to death, patted his chest to catch his breath, then sincerely advised, "Junior Zhao, you've truly made me see you in a new light. But the gang behind Hu Qiang and Niu Tai is no joke. You need to secure an outer sect status and find some backing." Zhao Mu stroked his chin and nodded, "I've been pondering that move myself." Scene shifts to the outer sect affairs office. Jiang Ding-kun was muttering while tending a pill furnace. Zhao Mu calmly pushed the door open and entered, clasping his hands in courtesy. "Disciple Zhao Mu pays respects to manager." Jiang Ding-kun shot a sidelong glance through the crack, then secretly released a tiny bit of inner force, making the furnace sputter smoke and ruin the batch. Zhao Mu was startled. Jiang Ding-kun pretended to cough a few times, pointed at his face and grumbled, "It's your face that distracted me and wasted my valuable death chi pills. Get out of here." Zhao Mu blankly pointed at himself and asked back, "Blame me." Taking a closer look, Zhao Mu knew full well that the old man had staged this to ruin the pills himself, and from the smell of the escaping energy, it was clearly a fraud. What was in the furnace wasn't even death chi pills. Was the old man bored and looking to extort him, or was someone pulling strings behind the scenes? Jiang Ding-kun made a scene, still standing there. "I don't want to see your face." Zhao Mu smiled and advised, "Manager, don't be hasty." He pulled out 5 heavy pouches of money and pressed them into the old man's hands. "A small token of 50,000 spirit stones. I hope you'll accept it, manager." Jiang Ding-kun, taking a sip of tea, nearly choked. He stashed the money into his robe and turned his attitude faster than lightning, beaming. "Little brother, you're here to process your outer sect token, right? Leave it to me, I'll get it sorted." Zhao Mu nodded, "Then I'll trouble you, Manager Jiang." He curled his lips and cast the bait. "By the way, Manager Jiang, could you hint at who's been blocking my advancement?" Old Jiang turned away nervously and replied, "I only take money to ward off trouble. I don't dare snitch on others." Zhao Mu slid his hand into his pouch again, smiling brightly, "I know the rules very well." He slammed another pile of spirit stones onto the table and whispered, "Is this enough weight?" Jiang Ding-kun's eyes nearly popped out from the glare. Abandoning all principles, he beckoned and murmured, "Come closer." Zhao Mu stepped forward. The old man arranged a few spirit stones into a distinctive face, and Zhao Mu immediately recognized it. The culprit was that wicked woman, Chu Kaio-ran. He frowned with concern. "Chu Kaio-ran controls the outer sect with spies everywhere. If I stay here, I'll eventually fall into her trap." Zhao Mu bowed to Jiang Ding-kun, Thank you for the warning, manager. The old man turned away, whistling in denial. Did I say anything? Sword flight away. Zhao Mu racked his brains and realized there was only one way: brazenly go to Lu Qi's place to weather the storm. Flying straight to Lu Qi's residence. As he looked down, he was utterly baffled. Why were there two unfamiliar male figures in his senior sister's lair? One was Long Tian-Xiang, a thorn in the side on the top 5 of the prodigy rankings. The other was Chen Haikong, the 12th elder of the demon sect. Chen Haikong stroked his beard and chuckled. Now that Kier's golden core is complete, I think it's time to discuss your marriage arrangement. Long Tian-Xiang folded his arms and stood tall. I understand. Once I win the championship at next year's winter hunt, I'll formally take your niece as my bride. Old Chen patted his belly and laughed heartily. This old man is really eager to toast your union. Hiding on the roof, Zhao Mu curled his lip and sneered. So it's that mongrel dragon Long Tian-Xiang. After the two left, he dropped down, knocked, and whined, Senior sister, are you home? Lu Qi cracked the door open, her eyes sparkling like stars. Junior Zhao. As soon as the door shut, Zhao Mu interrogated, Did Long Tian-Xiang come to finalize the wedding with you? Lu Qi pouted angrily, Don't mention that eyesore in front of me. I don't want to hear it. She sidled up and wrapped her arm tightly around his, beaming, What wind blew you over to visit me today? Zhao Mu scratched his cheek and stammered, It's all because that vixen is stirring trouble and won't let me stay in the outer sect. Lu Qi's blood boiled at that, and she unleashed killing intent. I just formed my golden core. Once I stabilize my power, in a few days I'll go scratch her face off. She smiled at him with narrowed eyes. And it's all thanks to your devoted help that I broke through to golden core so quickly. Zhao Mu wrapped his arms around Lu Qi and whispered, Senior sister, when you provoke me like this, my Crimson Sun power might not hold up. She curled her lips in challenge. Then why hold back? Lu Qi boldly shed her clothes and seductively invited, Junior Zhao, I need you to help me cultivate tonight. Zhao Mu feigned a groan. Oh no, senior sister, have mercy on me. Behind the tightly closed door, her voice softened and cooed, Junior Zhao. A long, lingering night passed. Lu Qi lay exhausted and limp, drifting into sleep. A notification popped up. You have been drained of Crimson Sun power. System compensates 50-fold. The Crimson Sun power inched up a little. Zhao Mu stretched and yawned, muttering, That's all. The system replied mechanically, The number of times Lu Qi has drained you is too high. The return rate will gradually decrease. Zhao Mu glanced at Lu Qi and realized a truth. Putting all your capital in one place diminishes returns. I need to find more senior sisters to share cultivation duties, so the system's profit margin will soar. This logic is definitely sound. Pulling out a pile of spirit stones to continue farming, he brushed aside stray thoughts. Enough of that. Now I should focus on growing stronger. Zhao Mu's advancement speed shot up, breaking through Foundation Establishment 3rd level, then rumbling into 4th level. Just as he was in high gear, the spirit stones evaporated completely, making him frown. Wait, all gone already. I haven't even reached 5th level yet. He fell into deep thought. This sacred body burns resources like crazy. I need to stockpile more treasures. Suddenly, a figure flashed outside. Curious, he threw open the window to look. Who just flew by? To his shock, he saw Zai Xuan's silhouette, and his face turned pale. Zhao Mu stumbled back and stammered, Holy Maiden. In the blink of an eye, the master stood right before him and said coolly, Just call me Zai Xuan. Zhao Mu rubbed his hands and gave a sycophantic smile. Might I ask what wind has brought Lady Zai Xuan down to see me? And Zai Xuan stood with her arms crossed, her gaze scanning his body. She traced a finger lightly across Zhao Mu's firm chest, and unabashedly declared, I need your pure yang power for cultivation. He was stunned. What? Zhao Mu quickly pushed Zai Xuan away. Stepped back, clasped his hands, and tried to decline tactfully. Lady Zai Xuan, please don't tease me. Those draining techniques have diminishing returns later on. A person of your status surely doesn't need my help, right? And Zai Xuan's face darkened as she unleashed a deadly oppressive force. You little brat, you're bold. Zhao Mu was crushed onto the bed by the invisible pressure and thought in horror, "This power is terrifying." And Zai Qiuwen planted one foot on him and arrogantly demanded, "Enough talk. Just say one word, yes or no." Zhao Mu gritted his teeth and swallowed his pride, nodding vigorously. "Since Lady Zai Qiuwen commands, I naturally obey." He buried his anger deep, scheming silently, "A wise man bides his time, sooner or later, I'll have this woman under my heel." Zhao Mu draped his arm over his forehead and smiled craftily. "But I wonder what position Lady Zai Qiuwen prefers, so I can adjust for your convenience in draining." And Zai Qiuwen's ears flushed bright red. She waved her hand and tore open a spatial portal, snapping, "Don't speak where you don't need to." They were both sucked into the mysterious space, and the rift slowly faded into nothingness. The scenery shifted to the Purple Heaven Cave dwelling. And Zai Qiuwen ordered coldly, "Follow me." By the lake she stopped and declared grandly, "This is my secluded cultivation sanctuary, absolutely no one will disturb us." Hearing that, Zhao Mu reached to strip off his clothes, and Zai Qiuwen panicked and shouted, "What are you doing?" He replied matter-of-factly, "Taking off my clothes so you can absorb my energy." And Zai Qiuwen's face burned and she stammered, "Who asked you to strip? I have my own arrangements." Zhao Mu flicked his hair smugly, "So Lady Zai Qiuwen likes to take the lead. I've encountered that type often, but based on my vast experience, mutual cooperation yields the best." Before he could finish bragging, a wad of fabric flew into his mouth. Zhao Mu was bound and tossed into a corner, and Zai Qiuwen threatened, "Shut up and close your eyes immediately. Focus on helping me cultivate. Disobey and you die." With a thud, he was flipped upside down into the lake. And Zai Qiuwen stood on the shore and ordered coldly, "Wash yourself clean." Zhao Mu obediently complied, "Yes, holy maiden." As he put his clothes back on, he grumbled, "Am I dreaming, holy maiden?" And Zai Qiuwen flared her spiritual energy and shouted, "Shut up." Zhao Mu barely opened his mouth before he was flung onto a soft bed. His hands shackled tight, making him smack his lips in resignation. "Here we go again." His forehead darkened as he sighed in exasperation. "I thought a holy maiden would be noble, but she's just like a holy knight. I have no strength to resist." Then a wet tongue licked across his cheek. "Where's my holy maiden?" Before him was not the master, but two beauties, an Luo Luo and an Yuan Yuan. They circled around Zhao Mu, giggling, "What's wrong, Junior? Aren't we sisters pretty enough to captivate you?" The two pressed against Zhao Mu and explained patiently, "We're puppets created by our mistress, tasked with draining your Crimson Sun power. Just cooperate obediently, and it'll be over in about an hour." Zhao Mu's veins bulged with anger. "You want my Crimson Sun essence and send puppets as substitutes, and you set a time limit of 1 hour. Who do you think you're underestimating?" He snapped the chains, grabbed an Yuan Yuan and pinned her down. His eyes blazing with fervor, "Let me show you what true unmatched strength is." And Luo Luo tried to hold his hand back and screamed, "Stop! Be gentle with my sister, you bastard." But the only response was Zhao Mu's wild laugh, followed by a stormy night of prolonged screams, "Please, spare me." Outside the room, and Zai Qiuwen paced anxiously, "That bastard lasts forever, when will he ever finish?" Inside, and Luo Luo and an Yuan Yuan lay limp on the mattress, while Zhao Mu soaked in a hot spring, stretching contentedly. "This spring is wonderful, soaking while upgrading my Crimson Sun energy. After all that exertion, my mind is still brimming with vitality." The two sisters, Luo Luo and Yuan Yuan, crawled out to report, "What a beast." They presented a vial of Crimson Sun essence. "Holy maiden, we are unforgivably at fault. The brat's constitution is truly extraordinary, which caused the delay." And Zai Qiuwen glanced over and waved, "I watched the whole process. It's not your fault." She ordered, "Hand over the Crimson Sun essence and go soak in the spring to heal." The two bowed deeply in acknowledgement. And Zai Qiuwen parted the curtain and looked at Zhao Mu, who grinned and asked, "Holy maiden, how was my performance this time?" And Zai Qiuwen folded her arms and maintained a cold face, "Acceptable." She tossed over a bundle, "This is your compensation." Zhao Mu snatched it up and opened it, exclaiming in surprise, "Wow, a full 10,000 spirit stones, and 4 bottles of top-grade foundation establishment pills. He dressed quickly and praised endlessly. The holy maiden truly is a heroine among women, so generous. And Zai Xuan shot a dagger-like glare. Take your things and go, planning to stay here forever. Emboldened, Zhao Mu tried to coax. To be honest, if you crave high-quality Crimson Sun essence, why not cultivate together directly? The results would be far more satisfying. And Zai Xuan blushed with fury, her killing intent blasting outward. She struck, sending Zhao Mu flying into the spatial portal. Get out of my sight. I don't want to see your face right now. Before disappearing, he turned back and teased loudly, Holy Maiden. The spatial gate flashed, and Zhao Mu landed softly on a familiar bed, as if nothing had happened. He glanced around the room and clicked his tongue, landed back at Lu Qi's place again. The Holy Maiden's magic is truly unfathomable. The system pinged a report. You have just offered a large amount of Crimson Sun essence to Zai Xuan. The Crimson Sun sacred body has received a massive upgrade. Zhao Mu gaped in excitement, sat cross-legged, and continued cultivating. He pumped his fist smugly. My plan is flawless. Constantly switching partners lets me hoard the system's rewards. He stroked his chin and plotted. As long as the Holy Maiden still craves my yang energy, my footing in this sect is secure. Elsewhere, Zai Xuan stared at the vial of Crimson Sun essence. She whispered, I hope this brat's essence doesn't disappoint me. Recalling what happened in the room, she quickly shook her head to clear her thoughts. She sat cross-legged, closed her eyes, and focused on her practice. You're just a small heating stove. Don't think you can disturb my cultivation mind. Outside the door, the 2 puppets Luo Luo and Yuan Yuan peeked and muttered. The Holy Maiden seems restless in her cultivation. Could that guy's essence have side effects that mess with the mind? Dawn broke bright. Lu Qi woke up groggily, looked down, and saw Zhao Mu meditating with his eyes closed. She put her hands on her hips and praised cheerfully. Up before sunrise, working hard, Junior Zhao, you've been overly diligent lately. Zhao Mu smiled humbly, just had a sudden insight and seized the moment, senior sister. Lu Qi hooked her arm around him and coaxed. You're on the verge of a breakthrough, right? How about we challenge the Ascending Heaven Path together? The Ascending Heaven Path, a famous old dungeon of the Holy Yuan demon sect. Countless disciples crowded before the 12-tiered massive gate. Rumor has it that anyone who reaches the 3rd tier automatically earns a spot in the top 100 of the outer sect prodigy list. The reason is clear. From the 3rd tier up, Golden Core Beast territory begins. Lu Qi eagerly explained, Chu Kaio Ran sits firmly in 9th place. I hear she held her ground on the 4th tier for an entire incense sticks time. Zhao Mu scratched his head apologetically. Senior sister, you don't have to go this far for me. Lu Qi frowned and retorted, don't flatter yourself. I'm not doing charity, helping you also strengthens me. She clenched her fists and gritted her teeth in frustration. Everyone praises Chu Kaio Ran as the #1 female prodigy of the outer sect, but I refuse to accept it. Today, I'll show everyone, human and demon alike, who the real strong one is. Hearing that, Zhao Mu could only analyze silently. Though they share the same demon sect roof, humans and demons have deep differences, and conflict has never ceased. After a moment's thought, he grinned, now that I'm officially an outer sect disciple too, let's go in and raise hell together. His enthusiasm pleased Lu Qi, who hugged his arm and cheered, agreed. Hand in hand, they advanced toward the eerie purple gate. Several competitors were thrown out of the gate, battered and cursing, failed again. The 3rd-tier monsters hurt like hell. How do those prodigies do it? No kidding, if they weren't good, they wouldn't be called prodigies. Turning around, the crowd bowed low and flattered a figure that just appeared. Brother New is still the best. This run swept through and shot up to 47th on the rankings. At this rate, the top 10 will soon have Brother New's footprints. Senior New, what treasure have you been taking? Your power skyrocketed. A brutish man with bull horns on his forehead snorted and laughed. That's due to my innate quality and hard training. This was none other than New Tai, currently anchored at rank 79. Suddenly, he shuddered, sensing a chilling, murderous aura from a dark corner. Chu Kaio Ran, cloaked in a dark halo, slowly issued a threat. Niu Tai, don't forget who gave you your cultivation. Be smart and finish the task I assigned you. The bullman immediately snapped to attention and bellowed, startling the crowd, yes, senior sister. Meanwhile, the duo of Zhao Mu and Lu Qi just reached the entrance. Niu Tai spotted his rivals and raised a finger in mockery. Little sister Lu, bringing this pretty-faced boy into the ascending heaven path to trip you up. Lu Qi was never one to back down and shot back, pretty-faced, I heard you just got your face swollen by this pretty-faced boy. That jab struck home, making Niu Tai's face flush purple as he jumped to defend himself. That was because he bit me cheaply in the chaos. Zhao Mu swaggered past the bullman and dropped a sarcastic remark. A loser under my hands should keep quiet. Shouting only humiliates you more. Get out of our way. Niu Tai clenched his fists, his blood boiling. You bastard, I've had enough. He stomped hard, shattering the stone floor. Grabbed chunks of rock and hurled them wildly, roaring furiously. Stop right there. Zhao Mu quickly caught Lu Qi and dodged the flying debris. Suddenly, a command token wrapped in blazing red spiritual energy shot straight at him. A notification board burst with a crackle and Niu Tai's arrogant laughter. Outer sect disciple Niu Tai issues a challenge. Accept or decline. Lu Qi tapped her hand on the barrier, stopping him in panic. Don't be foolish enough to agree. His cultivation has progressed terrifyingly lately. Don't let him provoke you. But Zhao Mu remained expressionless, reassuring his senior sister. Calm down, senior sister, everything is within my calculation. He stepped forward, smirking playfully. A simple match is too dull. How about adding some wagers to make it more interesting? Niu Tai stroked his sword eagerly. Very well, if I am unfortunate enough to fall, this grade 2 sword belongs to you. Zhao Mu slipped off his spatial ring and threw it out. Then, I shall use this storage ring as my wager. The contract was quickly finalized. A curious crowd gathered densely around the square upon hearing the news of a good show. There is a fierce battle, heard that Niu Tai is facing off against that newcomer from the miscellaneous chores yard. Hearing the crowd mocking her junior brother, Lu Qi glared angrily, as if wishing to burn them to ashes. That guy is Zhao Mu, who just managed to squeeze into the outer sect. He possesses a rare pure yang body, and any female outer sect cultivator practicing the 9 yin divine art has associated with him, truly making people green with envy. What a disgrace to the demonic sect. At this moment, Chu Kaio Ran appeared from nowhere, speaking in a flirtatious yet venomous tone. No wonder when junior brother Zhao Mu cultivated with me, he was so restless. Turns out he was raising a little mistress outside. Lu Qi's stomach churned as she cursed to her face. What a beast. Chu Kaio Ran only gave a mocking smile. Watching your reaction is quite amusing. When a bird grows wings and wants to fly, the best ending is to personally snap its neck. She turned around to give instructions to her foolish disciple. Go all out for me. Life or death does not matter. Do not waste the opportunity I bestowed upon you. Niu Tai cracked his neck joints and obediently replied, Rest assured, senior sister, I will definitely not disappoint you. As soon as he finished speaking, he surged his true qi, causing dust and smoke to billow everywhere. Seeing the fiery red energy surrounding him, Lu Qi's heart skipped a beat as she cried out, Junior brother Zhao Mu, dodge quickly. In less than a blink of an eye, Niu Tai shifted behind him, pouncing like a malevolent deity. Go to hell. A deafening explosion shook the entire barrier, dust rising to obscure everything. The crowd gasped in astonishment, discussing animatedly. My goodness, it is the afterimage steps. Niu Tai already possesses extraordinary strength, and now with the afterimage steps, his power is multiplied. No wonder his rank climbed so fast. Zhao Mu is surely finished this time. The match passed like a storm. If Niu Tai does not hold back, I fear that guy will lose his life on the spot. Chu Kaio Ran savored the pleasure, her eyes narrowing into a cunning smile. See that, you weaklings? Offending me only leads to this miserable end. That arrogant display made Lu Qi burn with rage. You. Chu Kaio Ran tossed her hair arrogantly. What a pity. If only he had the sense to bow down and submit to me, he could have kept his wretched life for a while longer. But suddenly bewildered murmurs rose from the crowd. How strange, he blocked it. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Unbelievable. Is the pure yang body really this overbearing? When the mist cleared, it revealed an arm that was not too large. yet firmly squeezing Niu Tai's horns. The mad bull crashed to his knees on the floor, gritting his teeth. What on earth is this? Zhao Mu still stood tall, throwing a splash of cold water on his opponent's face. Not weaned yet, your strikes are as weak as scratching an itch. The provocation made Niu Tai feel like exploding. You bastard. Witnessing this reversal, the smile on Chu Kaio-ran's face vanished. You fool, quickly take out the pill I gave you and swallow it. Hearing the order, Niu Tai tremblingly pulled out a medicinal pill and roared, You forced me. He crushed and swallowed the pill. A surge of dark power erupted violently, forcing Zhao Mu to glide backward. Niu Tai transformed into a giant demonic bull, just like his name. I will let you taste the peak state of the demon race's lineage. Minotaur form, activate. Seeing him turn grotesque, Zhao Mu was not flustered at all, even clapping in appreciation. Quite spectacular. But Lu Qi was in no mood for jokes, cursing Chu Kaio-ran to her face. You thick-skinned wretch, cheating by using drugs in the arena, your shamelessness has reached the peak. How is this even a fair match? Chu Kaio-ran raised her chin, enjoying Lu Qi's anger, and proudly introduced the pill's effect. That is the demon soul pill, used to ignite and awaken the raw power buried deep within the demon lineage. Niu Tai's sky-high aura right now is the proof. She raised her face in defense. This power originally resided within our demonic bodies anyway. We only borrowed the pill to awaken it. Who dares call this cheating? Having turned into a monster, Niu Tai also gradually lost his human reason, snorting with bloodshot eyes. Today I must sacrifice you alive, tearing you limb from limb to satisfy my wrath. He went all out, rushing like an unstoppable gale, afterimage assault. The extraordinary speed left only a blurry trail of light, making the spectators cheer wildly. Faster than imagination. The naked eye simply cannot keep up with Brother Niu's movements. This is truly the awakened power of the perfect man Liu lineage. However, Zhao Mu only smiled faintly, leisurely tilting his body to slip past. Who would have thought? A deep gash suddenly appeared on his arm. Only now did Zhao Mu drop his playful demeanor, silently evaluating the situation. Clearly, there was no direct contact, yet the pressure of that wind alone was strong enough to tear his flesh. In the opposite direction, Tai Niu crashed violently into the sturdy cliffside. The terrifying impact was so immense that it made the entire mountain rumble and shake. The surrounding disciples shrieked in terror. This destructive force was truly insane, definitely not something a Foundation establishment realm cultivator could display. Turns out the golden core cultivation is only so-so, but in terms of the demonic body's toughness, the human race indeed stands no chance in comparison. Unwilling to suffer humiliation, Tai Niu spun around in fury. Gathering power again to unleash the same technique. Let's see where you can run this time. However, Zhao Mu did not even bother to dodge anymore, but directly channeled his spiritual energy, silently acknowledging that this guy's raw strength was indeed formidable. His eyes suddenly turned into a deep, endless abyss of black. Immediately after, the man and the bull dashed straight at each other like moths to a flame. Carrying an explosive power, Zhao Mu's 1,000-pound punch crushed Tai Niu's grand horn into pieces. The residual force went on to land a devastating blow right onto his opponent's left cheek. Tai Niu's massive, hill-like body was instantly sent flying far away. Seeing the giant obstacle hurtling toward them, the crowd hastily scattered to both sides to avoid the impact. Chu Kaio-ran's eyes widened, unable to hide her shock as she cried out, "What on earth is this? How is this possible?" The mad bull form gradually dissipated, leaving the defeated foe with a swollen, battered face. The entire square instantly erupted into a lively discussion. How on earth did a single punch completely take down Tai Niu while in his demonized state? Is the pure Yang body really this fierce? When did that Zhao Mu break through to the Foundation establishment realm? The power of that punch even overwhelmed Tai Niu's brute strength. Meanwhile, Lu Qi gleefully rushed to Zhao Mu's side. This is absolutely wonderful. She was so thrilled that she grabbed and tightly hugged his arm. My judgment of people indeed never fails. The young man was slightly embarrassed, gently prying her hand away before clearing his throat to remind her, "Senior sister, there are so many eyes watching." In contrast to that joy, Chu Kaio-ran gritted her teeth in fury, spitting insults at the useless trash who had just lost. She raised her voice, ordering her retinue to drag him away out of her sight. Fearing their master's wrath, the lackeys tremblingly complied aloud. However, before they could carry the stout body away, a voice casually interrupted them. "Wait a moment." Seeing Zhao Mu's sly smile, the other faction's group fumed with anger. "Brother Niu has already been beaten to this state by you. What else do you want to play? Exactly, you beat him and still want to pressure him further. This is going too far." Ignoring the outcry, the young man still smiled brightly, casually tossing out a cloth bag. "I am an extremely reasonable person. In here is 10,000 spirit stones." Saying so, he turned the bag upside down, pouring a cascade of sparkling gems onto Tai Niu's swollen face, his mocking voice ringing out. "Consider this my full payment for your medical expenses this time." Only one in the crowd remained clear-headed, while the other two had their eyes lit up, completely captivated by this treasure falling from the sky. Zhao Mu is truly generous, humiliating Tai Niu at such a high price. Hey, if someone gave me 10,000 spirit stones, I would willingly let him slap my face. But fellow disciples, look closely, this pretty boy actually looks quite imposing. Right at that moment, the system suddenly sent a notification. Gifted 10,000 spirit stones, triggering a 100-fold return crit. Received 1,000,000 spirit stones. Hearing this, Zhao Mu clicked his tongue in dissatisfaction. Just triggered, and it only returned a measly 100-fold. Suddenly, Chu Kaio-ran walked over gracefully, clapping her hands rhythmically in admiration. Well praised, indeed. She used her jade-like finger to gently lift his chin, whispering flirtatiously. "As expected of the man this young lady has targeted, this mistress seems to fancy you more and more." With an alluring tone, she tried to pull Zhao Mu to her side. "As long as you obediently follow me, I promise to offer you everything you desire." Unfortunately, this young man's mind was incredibly cold, decisively brushing away that lingering hand. Leaving behind 3 chilly words, "You are unworthy." Being insulted by a man in broad daylight, Chu Kaio-ran was utterly enraged, her spiritual energy erupting in all directions. "What did you just say?" At that very tense moment, Lu Qi boldly stepped between the two. She glared and scolded Chu Kaio-ran directly to her face. "Zhao Mu is a flesh-and-blood human, not a commodity for you to use and discard as you please." Seemingly unable to endure any longer, Lu Qi pointed her finger directly at her rival's face, solemnly declaring, "I will go challenge the Deng Tian Lu, push your rank down, and then use the most proper status to send you a challenge letter." After saying that, Lu Qi angrily grabbed Zhao Mu's wrist and pulled him away. "Since you heavily injured him, I will settle the score with you on his behalf, with principle and interest." At this, Zhao Mu showed a look of genuine excitement, praising her. "Senior Sister Lu Qi, the words you just spoke were truly so imposing." Her cheeks blushed as she shyly replied, "It is good that you are sensible." The two of them quickly stepped through the purple barrier. Leaving Chu Kaio-ran alone to chew on her towering rage. "You bastards!" She gritted her teeth, carving her hatred deep into her heart. "Lu Qi, Zhao Mu, I swear I will never let the two of you off." Once the two had gone, the spectating crowd began to chatter. Chu Kaio-ran is after all ranked 9th on the Outer Sect Genius Board, the proud flower of the Fox tribe. Lu Qi has a noble status, the beloved granddaughter of the 12th Elder Lu Hai, and her beauty is on par with Chu Kaio-ran. Two stunning beauties are actually burning with jealousy over that Zhao Mu. It truly makes people green with envy. Amidst the noisy chatter, Mu Ao snorted in annoyance, turning his back to leave in anger. At the same time, at the demonic sect Sacred Land, 9 Dragon Sword Grave, Long Tian Xiang was sitting cross-legged in meditation, bearing a great heavy sword on his back. Suddenly, his deep eyes snapped open. With just a light wave of his hand, the sword tore through the wind and flew out, slicing a giant boulder in two. After displaying his skill, Long Tian Xiang closed his eyes again. A faint barrier enveloped his body, indicating he was quite satisfied with the result. While he was immersed in cultivation, Mu Ao ran over for his life, hurriedly reporting, "Urgent report, Senior Brother Long." He hastily bowed, recounting the drama that had just unfolded. In the outer sect, Rumors are spreading that junior sister Lu Qi clashed with Chu Kaio, ran of the Fox tribe over a pretty boy. I feared this trivial matter would tarnish senior brother's reputation, so I rushed here to deliver the news. Having heard the whole story, Long Tianxiang slowly stood up, his entire body releasing a bone-chilling, murderous aura. Just for this trivial matter, you dare disturb my secluded cultivation. Countless sharp sword tips instantly pressed close to Muao's throat. His face turned pale, trying to maintain some composure. He hurriedly cupped his hands and bowed to apologize. Please calm your anger, senior brother Long, it was my offense. I shall excuse myself immediately. However, as he was about to turn and slip away, Long Tianxiang called him back. Muao trembled, timidly asking, "May I ask if senior brother has any further instructions?" Before he could finish his sentence, he was blown away by the opponent's overbearing force. Tumbling to the ground, Muao groaned in pain. "Senior brother Long, why did you strike me like this?" Long Tianxiang glared to intimidate him. "Stop struggling, open your robe and look closely at your chest." Seeing the glowing golden sword mark on his chest, Muao's eyes widened in surprise. "This is..." Long Tianxiang turned slightly, answering indifferently, "That is a strand of sword intent condensed by myself." Yet the disciple still looked utterly clueless. "May I ask, what senior brother Long means is?" Long Tianxiang's eyes narrowed, his voice carrying a profound meaning. "In this world, there are always ants who do not know the height of heaven and depth of earth. Take this sword intent and clean up that garbage on my behalf." As his voice fell, Long Tianxiang's figure suddenly vanished, leaving Muao overjoyed at having suddenly received a new power. "Thank you for senior brother Long's grace." Back at the Deng Tianlu area, Zhao Mu and Lu Qi had stepped through the spatial portal. As the one who came before, Lu Qi carefully instructed, "The Deng Tianlu will automatically record the floors a disciple passes. Since you are a newcomer, the system will automatically separate us." Zhao Mu nodded as if understanding. "Understood." Seeing Lu Qi's awkward demeanor and blushing cheeks, he was about to ask, "Senior sister." To his surprise, she suddenly stood on her tiptoes, printed a light kiss on his lips, and ran inside out of extreme shyness, only leaving behind a sentence, "Remember, you must be absolutely careful." Zhao Mu chuckled softly, gently touching his lips with his finger, whispering, "Senior sister, you be careful too." Then he had to enter the misty fog all alone. Ahead, Zhao Mu faintly discerned 3 dark shadows glaring with crimson eyes. One demonic beast had the form of a black-feathered fighting cock. Another was covered in spikes, just like a porcupine. And the last one looked exactly like a giant frog. Sensing the human scent, the pack of monsters immediately lunged forward aggressively to tear him apart. Zhao Mu tapped his feet, retreating slightly backward to dodge the first wave of attack. In the brief moment hovering in midair, he calculated. Unbelievable that the first stage of Deng Tianlu actually deploys Foundation Establishment Realm demonic beasts. A freshly joined outer sect disciple stands absolutely no chance of passing this. The porcupine demonic beast curled its body into a sharp ball of spikes, shooting out a barrage of deadly needles. Unfortunately, not a single spike could touch his robe. Zhao Mu's gaze sharpened. My turn to counterattack. His signature punch was unleashed once more. The 3 monsters, before realizing what was happening, were sent flying together. In just a few minutes, Zhao Mu had completely cleared the 3 obstacles. This is quite effortless. And so he easily cleared the first floor, the system allowing him to choose one of 3 rewards. The reward was a high-grade yellow-tier cultivation method, Burning Flame Palm. Seeing the item, Zhao Mu cheered. "I am sorely lacking in combat techniques to pair with my Crimson Sun divine body. This is truly a godsend." He didn't even glance at the other 2 items, immediately selecting it. Zhao Mu flipped through the pages to absorb the new knowledge. Let's see, the first step is to guide the solar true fire into the body. He recited the words and followed them strictly, using the power of the blazing sun of the grand heavens to enhance the power of the palm technique. A palm-shaped wave of spiritual energy crashed heavily into the towering cliffside ahead. Witnessing the impressive destructive power of this new technique, Zhao Mu nodded with satisfaction. Not bad at all. Second floor, here I come. At the waiting hall of the third floor of Dengtian Tower, a brilliant green light flashed, and immediately after, Lu Qi appeared. That light radiated from the sword swung at such extreme speed that eyes couldn't follow. After defeating the pack of monsters, she leaned on her sword, panting heavily. Past the third floor, I can choose one of 3 rewards. Outside the tower, the crowd had their eyes glued to the golden ranking board. Lu Qi's name had rapidly risen into the top 50. She had broken through the barrier of the third floor and was preparing to storm the fourth floor. Nalan Chuang, the current top genius of the outer sect, had stubbornly held his ground on the fourth floor for a whole hour. If senior sister Lu Qi could hold on for 15 more minutes, she would easily enter the top 10 geniuses of the outer sect. Amid the excitement, an unfamiliar nameplate bearing Zhao Mu's name suddenly appeared. The crowd immediately shifted their discussion to this newcomer. Look everyone, that Zhao Mu actually appeared on the genius board as well. Wow, clearing the first floor earns a spot in the top 1,000. This proves he defeated his target in a very short time, and with his ability to beat Niu Tai, advancing to the third floor will surely be no problem. The hatred in Chu Cairo Ran's heart flared up intensely. Damn it, those two must have secretly engaged in dual cultivation quite a lot lately. Suddenly, a figure with flowing, dazzling blue hair approached. A man of imposing stature. Recognizing this person, the crowd murmured in admiration. Nalan Chuang, he actually showed up too. This was the #1 genius of the outer sect, rumored to possess the bloodline of a half-Qilin. Some envious people hiding behind whispered, "He looks decent, but he just likes to show off. He only relies on his noble background, he has no real talent." Unfortunately, Nalan Chuang's hearing was extremely sharp. He cast a murderous glare toward the gossipers, making the 2 disciples shrink in fear. Send senior brother Nalan. In the blink of an eye, Nalan Chuang's arm deformed into a demonic beast's claw. He swung his hand, and the 2 gossiping fellows instantly sprayed nosebleeds, falling face first to the ground. Having vented his anger, Nalan Chuang shook his hand as if afraid of getting dirty from touching trash. I hate those who gossip behind others' backs the most. Chu Cairo Ran turned her nose up and glared at him. What did you crawl over here for? He shrugged playfully. Heard a rumor that your pretty boy ran off with another woman. I came all this way just to mock you. Poked where it hurt, she naturally flew into a rage. Are you looking for death? Chu Cairo Ran swung her blazing hand and rushed directly at her enemy. Shut up! Facing the fiery rage, Nalan Chuang calmly gathered spiritual energy, muttering, so impatient, so impatient. However, another hand reached out from the void, firmly grabbing the wrist of Chu Cairo Ran. And Nalan Chuang as well. Both were startled, turning to look at the interrupter and exclaiming, Meow. A spectating disciple quickly added, that is Meow, ranked 8th among the inner sect geniuses. His cultivation has already reached the peak of the core formation realm. Chu Cairo Ran curled her lips in disdain. Are you stepping out to avenge your cousin now? Aren't you afraid that the elder backing the granddaughter who likes Zhao Mu will come to settle scores with you? Yet Meow showed no fear at all, pointing proudly to his chest. This time I carry the will of senior brother Long Tian Xiang. Do you think I would be afraid? Nalan Chuang put his hands on his hips, laughing heartily. It seems I didn't come in vain this time. His eyes gleamed with cruelty. A disciple who just joined the outer sect dares to face a peak core formation cultivator. The real fun is about to begin. Suddenly, a shout drew the attention of all 3. Look over here quickly. The main reason was Zhao Mu's breakneck climb in ranking. Zhao Mu's rank has entered the top 200. What, that fast? Meanwhile, at the second stage of Deng Tianlu, Zhao Mu unleashed his ultimate technique, Burning Flame Palm, landing a fatal blow squarely on the demonic beast. The notification popped up again. Past the second floor, you can choose one of 3 rewards. The young man scanned the reward list listlessly. This spell is utterly useless to me, and taking the origin nurturing pill with this body is no different from chewing rock candy. In the end, he nodded and selected the most useful item. Then I choose you. The item he selected was the grade 2 flying sword by Yu. Zhao Mu walked toward the stairs, letting out a long sigh. Such a low-grade item is completely beneath my notice. I must find a way to take it out and gift it to someone else. Just as he stepped through the new gate, Zhao Mu had to pause for a beat. Before his eyes was a massive horde of giant demonic beasts. The scale of this was truly exaggerated. Despite facing countless difficulties, Zhao Mu only smiled faintly. Starting to gather spiritual energy. No wonder so many outer sect disciples have to break through to the core formation realm before they have the confidence to pass the third floor. A brilliant sphere of energy appeared in his palm. But since I am already here, even if I fail, I must test where my limits lie. With just a provocative word, the entire beast horde was stunned as they received his wrath. Zhao Mu lunged into the horde, executing his familiar ultimate move, striking first to gain the upper hand, burning flame palm. A loud explosion rang out, and a demonic beast collapsed completely in an instant. The swift beast pack immediately seized the opening, lunging forward to tear him apart. Zhao Mu was startled, crying out in his mind, "So fast, I was truly off guard this time, I am finished." A beast bit down hard on his arm, but failed miserably as its sharp teeth shattered into pieces instead. Turns out Zhao Mu's superb body was so tough that he was only slightly scratched. Is this the true durability of the Crimson Sun divine body? The fearless beasts continued to charge, but all efforts became futile in the face of his power. This battle was resolved smoothly by Zhao Mu as usual. Not bad at all, he began to hope for a bright future. Relying on this invincible physical body, perhaps I really stand a chance of sweeping through this place. Swirling fire tornadoes plowed the ground. The demonic beast horde was reduced to ashes by Zhao Mu. Having gone through several chaotic battles in a row, the clothes on his body were tattered and blood-stained. To think I actually succeeded. Miraculously, the dust and injuries on his body evaporated cleanly in the blink of an eye. Witnessing this miracle firsthand, Zhao Mu gleefully rubbed his shoulders. Under the constant tempering of the Crimson Sun power, not only has my body become more resilient and durable, but my recovery ability is also exceptionally outstanding. An arrogant smile returned to the young man's lips. Perhaps I even have the ability to challenge the fourth floor, but before heading up, I must choose a reward first. Upon clearing the third floor, you can select one of the following 3 rewards. Zhao Mu rested his chin on his hand, looking at the heap of rewards. The pills and magical treasures obtained in the Deng Tian Lu could not be used inside. In the end, the reward he selected was the purple lightning binding. To challenge the fourth floor, he could only choose a new cultivation method. Zhao Mu sat cross-legged on the ground to master the new skill. The Deng Tian Lu had no time limit, so practicing this technique before entering the fourth floor was not too late. Outside, the disciples couldn't help but panic upon seeing Zhao Mu's terrifyingly high rank. Is there an error? What a joke. The Deng Tian Lu Grand Array was personally created by the patriarch Sheng Yuan, and there has not been a single mistake in 8,000 years. His rank is currently 13th. Zhao Mu, how is this kid capable of this? The more she heard the crowd's amazement, the more Chu Kaio Ran's frustration grew. What kind of monster is Zhao Mu, breaking through the third floor in a mere 15 minutes? While the time isn't considered exceptionally fast, his cultivation is only at the 5th level of foundation establishment. Even an early core formation cultivator might not be this quick. She bit her lip, wondering what kind of fortuitous opportunity this Zhao Mu had encountered to improve his strength so terrifyingly. Muao nearby tossed his head and said, "An outer sect genius list ranker surprises you this much." Folding his arms, he spat out in disdain, "The outer sect is just the outer sect, a bunch of useless trash." In the tense atmosphere, someone suddenly cheered, "Look quickly, senior sister Lu Qi is out." They quickly shifted the topic toward Lu Qi. She lasted on the 4th floor for 15 minutes, temporarily ranking 9th. She pushed senior sister Chu Kaio Ran down to the 10th spot, then everyone happily congratulated her, congratulating senior sister Lu Qi. Lu Qi also happily waved back. It was nothing. But Chu Kaio Ran had little interest and muttered softly, "Just a few ranks. What is there to be proud of?" However, Lu Qi heard it clearly and countered with a smile, "Indeed it is only a few ranks, but still stronger than some fox spirit." She pointed proudly toward Muao and said, So what if you surpassed me? With senior brother Muao here, can you protect Zhao Mu? Upon seeing him, Lu Qi's brow furrowed, the inner sex Muao, likely Niu Tai's cousin. It seems he is here for Niu Tai's matter. This time Zhao Mu is truly in trouble. Inside, Zhao Mu was practicing his new move. A moment later, he snapped his eyes open. Then extending his palm, he cried, "Purple lightning binding," as purple electrical currents surged from his hand. The cliffside boulders were shattered into pieces. Witnessing this destructive force, Zhao Mu remarked that practicing a lightning attribute cultivation method was indeed slightly harder. If not for his extraordinary comprehension, it would have been impossible to reach the entry stage in just half an hour. Then he praised the new move. The attack range of purple lightning binding is quite broad. It will surely be highly effective when facing a large number of enemies. Zhao Mu rested his hands on his hips, breathing a sigh of relief that he had rested enough. While climbing the stairs, he wondered what kind of enemy he would encounter on the 4th floor. A low but fierce growl echoed. The demonic beast on this floor was truly vastly different from the previous ones. For the first time, Zhao Mu felt a chill down his spine. A mere beast actually exerted such massive pressure on him. He quickly entered a combat stance as the demonic beast lunged at him, having no choice but to unleash his full power. To his surprise, just one of its claws left a large wound on his chest. The speed was simply too fast. Zhao Mu quickly summoned flames, burning flame palm. The flames shot forward powerfully, yet failed to hit the demonic beast at all. The speed is too fast, I simply cannot land a hit. This time he quickly utilized the move he had just learned. Let's see if you can still run after being electrocuted. As expected, this move successfully bound the demonic beast, bringing the familiar confident smile back to his face. Caught you. Zhao Mu immediately raised his hand toward it, shouting aloud, "Taste my strongest move." But to his shock, it managed to dodge completely, leaving him utterly astounded that it could change direction in midair. But Zhao Mu unleashed electric sparks, laughing excitedly. "Fell for it, didn't you? Purple lightning binding is actually my strongest move. You can't dodge from this close, can you?" The demonic beast skidded along the ground. In just a split second, one of his arms was severed. Zhao Mu collapsed onto the ground, and so did the demonic beast. Staring at his own arm in its mouth, Zhao Mu gasped for air, smiling weakly as he thought, "Is this the end? You beast, you won." But right at this moment, the system notification appeared again. Host used his own body to feed the demonic beast, triggering a 10,000-fold return, snapping him back to his senses. What? Zhao Mu's left arm was completely regenerated. A new energy within Zhao Mu was unlocked. The system screen suddenly turned red with the words, "Congratulations to the host for obtaining the human emperor bloodline." Zhao Mu read the name of his new skill and power in days on the system screen. 10,000-fold return, human emperor bloodline. It began to recount the origin of this power. Legend has it that when heaven and earth were first split, 100 races arose together and various heroes contended for dominion. The human race temporarily fell into a disadvantage, nearly facing total extinction. With villains came heroes. At the crucial moment, a group of peerless experts emerged within the human race. That group of experts completely defeated the monsters, tempering their physical bodies and bloodlines to the limit. Gaining invincible combat prowess, helping humanity turn danger into safety, defeating powerful foes, and prolonging the heritage of the human race. This story was truly inspiring to him. Perhaps one day, I will also step upon the mountains and rivers, destroying all invading enemies. Zhao Mu just waved his hand, and a burst of fierce red flame, far more powerful than before, erupted. In the blink of an eye, a large expanse of ground was completely shattered, startling the demon beast standing nearby so much that it stumbled backward and fell over. At this moment, Zhao Mu was full of confidence, waving his hand and taunting the little beast, "Still want to keep playing." Perhaps understanding the insult through his actions, it bared its fangs and growled. With its sharp claws, the leopard beast lunged forward. But facing its attack, Zhao Mu merely smiled calmly and said, "Now you look way too slow." With that, he used spiritual power to dodge to the side. Then his hand reached out and decisively sliced the demon beast's body in half, sending blood splattering everywhere. With just one hand, he successfully finished off the boss of this floor. And upon clearing the fourth floor, he could receive one of 3 rewards: 4th rank Windwalk Pill, 4th rank Cold Frost Treasure Weapon, mid-rank Chuan Level Cultivation Method, or the Great Rush Secret Manual. This time, Zhao Mu was quite torn, muttering that they were all good items, but unfortunately he could only choose one. He decided to pick randomly. All right, just take the pill and give it to someone else. As he walked toward the bridge ahead, he sneered as he thought about the people by that gate. Outside, it must be extremely lively right now. Indeed, it was. Their expressions were truly amusing. Come on, everyone, come take a look. Zhao Mu's ranking has changed again. On the ranking board, he had surpassed Nalan Chuang. Zhao Mu had become the #1 outer sect genius. Lu Qi was overjoyed, placing his hand on his face and exclaiming, "Zhao Mu, you actually did it." As for Chu Cairo Ran, she pouted in disbelief. How could he be the outer sect #1? Muao said in a deep voice, "Only at the 5th level of foundation establishment, and yet able to become the outer sect #1. From now on I will go all out to kill you." Just as he stepped through the next gate, Zhao Mu's entire body came to a halt. Because of the number and high level of the monsters before him, 5 great demons at the mid-golden core stage, that was way too excessive. Even though he faced the murderous glares of the monsters, Zhao Mu wiggled his fingers with a bright smile and said, "Seniors, no need to make a move, I know my place." As soon as he finished speaking, a staff pierced through his body. It pierced through, not stabbed through. What's with this senior being so impatient? The demon beast holding that staff let out a cold, contemptuous snort. Zhao Mu's body slowly faded away, but he still managed to say a few words. "Wait until I have enough strength, then I'll challenge you all." Before leaving, he curled his lips into an arrogant smile. "I believe it won't be long." With that, his figure reappeared in the square, startling everyone into shouting, "Look, Zhao Mu is out." Zhao Mu maintained his usual arrogant attitude, saying, "So many people all here to welcome me." Suddenly, Muao leaped in front of him without warning, causing the crowd to quickly step back. He grinned maliciously and said, "Kid, you're finally out. I've been waiting for you for a long time." Before Zhao Mu could react, 2 familiar figures suddenly appeared in front of him. Lu Qi stepping up to help was expected, but the surprising part was that Chu Cairo Ran was also there. "Be careful, he's Niu Tai, the 8th-ranked inner sect genius. You run first, we'll hold him off." He turned to the other person in confusion. "Lu Qi helping me is one thing. Chu Cairo Ran, you're causing a scene too." She pouted and replied, "I have my own reasons." Witnessing this made Muao become serious. Chu Cairo Ran and Lu Qi protecting Zhao Mu like that? It seemed that the people behind them were also paying attention to Zhao Mu's potential. This couldn't be dragged out. He needed to kill Zhao Mu before the elders arrived. With that thought, he quickly charged toward his opponents. The 2 girls, due to Muao's immense strength, were pushed back, leaving only Zhao Mu doing some warm-up moves. "Get lost! No one can stop me from avenging my junior brother." He slammed his fist into his other palm. "Warm-up's done, now let me have a taste of peak core formation strength." Immediately, Zhao Mu charged at Muao using his new skill, the Human Emperor Bloodline. A huge, blinding explosion erupted right in the square. Seeing the terrifying power of the blast left everyone in awe. Is this really the strength of a 5th-level foundation establishment? Unexpectedly, he could match a peak core formation cultivator, the radiance on his body. Could it be that someone blurted out the truth? He is the Human Emperor Bloodline. One of Zhao Mu's hands completely blocked the powerful punch of Niu Tai. In terms of raw strength, Senior Niu is no match for me. Being mocked so bluntly made Muao furious and he roared, "What?" Though he was already enraged, he couldn't help but acknowledge his opponent's terrifying strength. Just how many secrets does this kid have? I can't hold back anymore. This time, he used the sword seal. Seeing this, Lu Qi anxiously warned, "Zhao Mu, run." Even Chu Cairo Ran bit her lip, worried for his safety. Muao laughed gleefully, to die under this sword intent." He frowned slightly at the attack. then it would not be a waste of your life. A golden dragon burst from Muao's chest, making Zhao Mu leap back in shock. The moment he saw its appearance and felt that spiritual power, he knew who the owner was. Idiot, this sword intent is Long Tian Xiang's. He spread both palms forward and shouted, "Human Emperor bloodline, open." Using too much power and suffering backlash, blood flowed from his eyes, nose, and mouth, a truly painful sight, but he had no intention of giving up, screaming inwardly. "Block it for me, this explosion is even bigger than before." Smoke and dust billowed, obscuring the view of the two girls. Lu Qi screamed in terror, "Zhao Mu," while Chu Kaioran frowned slightly and said, "Useless." This is the sword intent of a nascent soul cultivator, a foundation establishment cultivator like him. He's probably been reduced to ashes. She thought angrily, damn it, the mission my master gave me can't be completed. Muao was now laughing loudly, having eliminated his opponent. This is the end of offending that great figure without any foresight. Hearing that, Lu Qi couldn't help but angrily blurt out, "You." But a cough came from within the dust, causing all three to freeze. Though he looked severely injured, Zhao Mu still managed to smile and say, "This is that brat Long Tian Xiang's sword intent." His right arm was completely severed, his body battered, but that smile was so confident it made others feel they had to step back. "I think it's nothing more than that." Seeing this, two different emotions appeared. One person couldn't believe it and cursed angrily, "How is this possible? He's still alive." While the other was joyfully cheering, "How wonderful." Muao continued charging at him, roaring, "Not dead yet, let me finish you off now." But Lu Qi drew her sword and blocked him, "Stop right there." With no mercy, he knocked her away, "Get lost." Muao's fist gradually approached his face. "Die," Zhao Mu sighed inwardly, "Damn it, my body has no strength left." Suddenly, a terrifying force crushed Muao down, making him rage, "Who dares to stop me?" A great lady descended from the air and said, "It is I," the person was Saintess-en. She raised an eyebrow slightly and asked, "Got a problem?" That action alone made Muao cower and bow. "Disciple dare not." Inwardly, he wondered, why is the Saintess here? The other disciples, upon seeing her, hurriedly knelt and paid their respects to the Saintess. She turned to look at Zhao Mu, who was healing his arm, and remarked, "You really make me see you in a new light." Saintess unfolded her arms and continued, "The outer sect #1 genius, though not a glorious title, considering your current cultivation level, achieving this makes you the only one in the history of the Holy Origin Demon sect." But he humbly replied, "Just luck." Seizing the opportunity, she made a very beneficial offer. "Are you willing to become my disciple?" As soon as she finished, a voice filled with internal power resounded from the sky. "Heard that an outer sect top-grade human genius has appeared. Where is he? Let me see." Three great figures were flying through the air on different items. "Zhou Si Liang, don't you dare snatch him from me. For a human genius like this, I've gone 100 years without taking a disciple. I don't care, this precious disciple must belong to me." "Old man, you think you can just snatch him and get your way?" Suddenly seeing three others appear caused the disciples to buzz with excitement. "Who are these old guys? Don't talk nonsense, they are the human elders of the Holy Origin Demon sect." As soon as he touched the ground, the lead elder complained loudly, "Saintess-en, you're going too far. Our human race has finally found an outstanding genius seed. How can you hand it over to the demon race on a silver platter?" The one who spoke was the fifth elder of the Holy Origin Demon sect, Zhou Si Liang. From the whispers of a few knowledgeable disciples, this old man not only held a high position, but was also a master of formations with superb skill. Next, the great elder Fen Deng spoke up. "You've already taken that little demon brat Mu Jiu Ling, so this human genius slot should be given to this old man. What do you say?" Another person hurriedly added information about this competing elder. "His name is Fen Deng, holding the position of seventh elder of the Holy Origin Demon sect. His combat cultivation isn't particularly formidable, but he is a renowned grandmaster alchemist far and wide. On the path of cultivation, absolute power is the truth. If you agree to call me master, I will provide you with a complete set of 7th rank or higher treasure weapons, plus the battle heaven fighting art as a secret technique. I will pour out all my knowledge to teach you." This was a violent-sounding offer from the third elder, Du Gujian. Legend has it that this old man once used a world-splitting secret skill to fight his way deep into the ancient Forbidden Land and secure his third seat. The entire square erupted in murmurs. The Holy Origin Demon Sect had only 4 human elders in total, yet 3 had come today just to fight over Zhao Mu. Just how terrifying was his aptitude that he could secure a core disciple spot the moment he entered, something countless others coveted. The 4 great figures took turns offering dazzling rewards. Just by becoming my disciple, my hardcore alchemy furnace will immediately be yours. Kid, choose carefully. Strength is the foundation of the cultivation world. That classic saying perfectly matched Zhao Mu's calm reply. How about, I take all 3 of you? This declaration left the 3 old men stunned speechless, and the atmosphere fell into dead silence. Only Saintess let out a soft laugh, composed and nodding. I have no objections. Let's see how these 3 old gentlemen settle this. The 3 old men began to argue back and forth. My formation branch takes a huge amount of time to truly grasp the subtleties, and to hone combat strength, you need to sweat and bleed on the actual battlefield. Alchemy, without 10,000 years of accumulation, don't even think about it. Absolutely no looking at other mountains while standing on this one. However, Zhao Mu harbored an insatiable thirst for power. He smiled brilliantly. 3 seniors have honored me so much. How could I bear to let you return disappointed? How about giving me 3 days, and I'll follow each of you to learn? He took a breath and declared loudly while activating his bloodline. If within that short time I can meet your expectations, that will be solid proof that I am more than capable of handling all 3 paths at once. His boundless confidence amused Saintess, and she turned and left a parting remark. Then let it be decided. With that, she grabbed the dejected Mu-Ao and dragged him away. I'll take this person for now, and before long I'll give you a proper explanation. Zhao Mu quickly clasped his hands respectfully. Thank you, Saintess, for your gracious approval. Inwardly, he assessed that this beauty's heart was extremely kind. Thinking that, he called out loudly, in the future, if you ever get stuck at some cultivation bottleneck and need help, I swear I will never refuse. This overly eager remark made Saintess pause, cough lightly to cover her embarrassment, and hurriedly reply, that we'll talk about later. At this moment, Zhou Xiliang had already thrown out a ring of light that bound his new disciple and pulled him flying into the air. Enough talk, follow this old man and stuff formation knowledge into your head right now. The sudden speed made him shout in surprise. Even while being dragged through the wind, Zhao Mu still turned his head and shouted, Sister Chen-Si, you must be careful of that Long Tian Xiang, he'll come after you. Down below, Lu Qi waved her hand and smiled reassuringly. I can take care of myself, don't worry. At that point, as the heated scramble gradually faded away, there stood a certain figure, swallowing nervously. It was the demon cultivator whom Zhao Mu had captured earlier. He broke out in cold sweat, panicking inwardly. This kid has suddenly risen to become a core disciple. I absolutely cannot stay in the Holy Origin Demon Sect another moment. But immediately he shook his head violently, drawing curious stares from the crowd. Not good. My entire clan is still rooted in the Holy Origin Demon Sect. Where can I run? Resting his chin in thought, an image suddenly flashed in his mind. The great Xia dynasty that Zhao Mu came from seemed to be getting bitten and torn by the neighboring Great Zhou, on the verge of destruction. If my clan steps in to protect the great Xia dynasty, that would be like throwing a huge debt of gratitude to this kid. Having figured it out, he shot through the wind. Right, I have to pull my father into discussing this immediately. Scene shift to Xuanzhen Peak. Zhou Xiliang and Zhao Mu landed in a vast area. The elder stroked his beard and proudly introduced, Welcome to this old man's formation valley. Throughout this space, I have personally set up exactly 3271 formations. Moreover, this is the core area of the Mountain Protection Grand Array that defends the Holy Origin Demon Sect. Once this machine is fully activated, where we're standing will become the safest fortress. Zhao Mu looked around, nodding in understanding. His curiosity piqued, he asked, So is that terrifying ascending path outside also Master Zhou's masterpiece? Zhou Xiliang smiled helplessly at that naive thought. Though I consider myself a formation genius, even if I exhausted my mental power, I could never create something as supreme as the ascending path. Its true history was made by the Holy Origin founder himself 8,000 years ago. It's the great contributor that has kept the Holy Origin demon sect standing firm amidst the forest of 10,000 demons to this day, unmatched. Zhao Mu carefully asked a delicate question. The founder is truly mighty. I've heard that after establishing the Holy Origin demon sect, he vanished without a trace. Has he died? The elder showed no anger. Zhou Xiliang scratched his chin, rummaged through that terrifying memory, and recounted. Even I don't know where the Holy Origin founder has drifted. Some say he successfully transcended his tribulation and wandered to a completely new world. Others say he accidentally uncovered a shocking secret and was imprisoned by a hidden force ever since. Hearing that, Zhao Mu felt a chill run down his spine. To suppress a being like the Holy Origin founder, that force must be terrifyingly powerful. The idle chat ended there. Zhou Xiliang turned serious. With your current modest cultivation, touching these matters is beyond you. For now, just follow me into the cave dwelling to test your formation aptitude. Zhao Mu straightened his face and bowed loudly. The master and disciple walked down a flight of stairs toward the grand gate called the Palace Gate. Before his foot could touch the last step, the door swung open, revealing the fresh face of a young girl. She greeted with a radiant smile. What wind blows master to my cave dwelling today? This was Zhou Xiliang's female disciple, Xing Yugu. The first thought that crossed Zhao Mu's mind when he saw her was a pair of breathtakingly magnificent peaks. Huge, majestic. Sensing his staring gaze, Xing Yugu shot him a sharp glare, making him flinch and quickly turn away, cursing himself. How embarrassing, almost lost my composure in front of this senior sister. Zhou Xiliang cleared his throat and began the introduction. Yugu, let me introduce you. This is Zhao Mu, your junior disciple. Then he turned to Zhao Mu. This is your senior sister, Xing Yugu. Though her cultivation doesn't scare anyone, she's a rare prodigy in divine script arts, one in 100 years. Zhao Mu obediently clasped his hands. Zhao Mu greets senior Xing, but received only a cold attitude in return. After the formalities, the master suddenly found an excuse to slip away. I happen to have some urgent matters to handle. You take your junior disciple to learn some basic knowledge of formation arts and maintain your model senior sister demeanor. Xing Yugu gestured for him to come inside. Follow me. Zhao Mu held one hand behind his back and nodded. Okay. She pulled out a strange object from a box. Zhao Mu examined the thing in her palm and asked curiously, Senior sister, what is this? She patiently explained. It's called a divine script tablet. Take it and place it directly between your eyebrows. He obediently followed her instructions. Don't look with your eyes, sense it with your mind. Instantly, a torrent of strange characters flooded into his brow. While behind Zhao Mu, a huge magic circle with bizarre patterns began to form. After the time of one incense stick, Xing Yugu snatched the item back and declared, Done, that's enough. Her face remained icy cold. Tell me the truth, what did you perceive just now? Zhao Mu recalled the strange phenomenon. I saw a massive plane, and the symbols on it were a bit odd. Xing Yugu's aura suddenly sank and she pressed, Repeat, how many symbols did you see in total? Inwardly, she was astonished. He could perceive divine script so quickly. This kid really has some talent. No wonder the master personally went to snatch him. Zhao Mu grimaced, racking his brain, but his memory failed him. I can't recall the details. He gave a vague estimate, roughly about 1,000, maybe a bit more, but definitely not over 2,000. His casual remark made Xing Yugu jump in shock. What? She screamed inwardly. The first time touching the tool and seeing over 1,000 divine script characters. The first time I perceived the Tao, I only got a few dozen. Meanwhile, Zhao Mu still innocently asked, So those symbols are called divine scripts? Hearing the question, she quickly regained her composure and answered. Correct. All things in this world revolve around a certain order, and the power maintaining that order is the divine scripts floating scattered throughout the darkness of space. She pointed at the void and explained. Divine scripts hide everywhere, endlessly transforming. No one can count how many types of runes this world contains. I've studied formation since childhood, toiled for over 30 years to reach the 6th rank formation master level, and yet I've only grasped more than 6,700 different divine scripts. Zhao Mu wore a look of utter bewilderment. There are that many mysterious divine scripts, then that means my formation aptitude is truly terrible. To outsiders like Xing she was so angry she gritted her teeth. Is this bastard deliberately showing off to me? She let out a frustrated sigh. Never mind, since you have the ability to perceive divine scripts, let's move to the next exercise. With that, she raised the divine script tablet high. Watch closely. The tranquil space suddenly transformed completely, leaving Zhao Mu stunned. Could this be the legendary illusion formation? She mumbled in agreement. You can think of it that way. With my current power, through the divine script tablet, I can alter the divine script structure to simulate these vivid natural scenes. Suddenly, Xing body swayed, about to fall backward. Fortunately, Zhao Mu's strong arm wrapped around her waist in time. All her weight fell on him, making him blush and ask softly, "Senior sister, are you okay?" Xing breathed heavily, her cheeks flushed from exertion, forcing out words. "I'm fine. Controlling this batch of divine scripts drains spiritual power horribly." She gently pushed against his firm chest. "No need to hold me, I can stand on my own." Once she had recovered, she sighed and explained. "The reason is that although I'm very good at controlling formations, my cultivation aptitude is terrible. I'm still stuck at peak foundation establishment." Zhao Mu blinked in confusion and asked, "Is breaking through to core formation that hard? A 5th-rank Dawn Source Pill is more than enough to help form a golden core, right?" She shook her head in complete denial. "Even a 6th-rank Dawn Source Pill I've tried, but it's useless. Master was right. My Danshan is naturally flawed, so my meridians can't condense. Unless I get an 8th-rank Convergence Pill, I wouldn't dare to hope for breakthrough." Hearing that, a familiar sly smile appeared on his face. Zhao Mu sidled closer, squinting and purring. "Dear Senior Xing, what if I had a way to get you an 8th-rank Convergence Pill?" His eyes were full of scheming. "Then how would you repay my sincerity?" The burning desire for breakthrough surged in Xing, making her rush at him and shout, "If you can get me an 8th-rank Convergence Pill, even if I have to sell everything, I'll give you all the money I can scrape together." He grabbed her wrist firmly, steering the conversation to a different direction. "Senior sister, you're smart enough to know that an 8th-rank pill can't just be bought with money." Pressed into a corner, she stammered, "If money isn't enough, not enough, then I'll give my whole determination." She bit her lip and shyly offered a tempting condition. "I'll sell myself to you." He immediately grasped her soft hand tightly. Zhao Mu's face was now radiant and satisfied, his scheme having succeeded perfectly. "Very good, it's settled." Seeing his excited demeanor, the naive Xing now vaguely sensed something wrong. "Why do I feel like I just walked right into a trap?" But her thoughts were completely cut off when Zhao Mu suddenly pulled out several other pills. "I happen to have some convergence pills on hand, so I'll give them to you for now." Holding the pills, her face fell in frustration, and she sighed heavily. "These 5th-rank convergence pills are utterly useless to me." Nevertheless, she accepted them graciously and casually tucked them into the deep cleft between her breasts. "Still, thank you for the thought, junior disciple." At that moment, the system in Zhao Mu's mind kept flashing notifications. "You gave a 5th-rank Dawn Source Pill, activating 200x return, receiving a 6th-rank Heart Nourishing Pill. You gave a 5th-rank Dawn Source Pill, activating 50x return, receiving a 5th-rank Heart Nourishing Pill. You gave a 5th-rank Dawn Source Pill, activating 3000x return, successfully obtaining an 8th-rank Convergence Pill." The cascade of rewards made him ecstatic, screaming with laughter inside. Opportunity has come. The familiar smug smile crossed Zhao Mu's face as he glanced at the beauty before him, thinking gleefully, even if Senior Xing grows wings, she won't escape this young master's palm. Suddenly, the entire cave trembled violently. Zhao Mu immediately became alert. "What the hell is happening?" In contrast, Xing calmly explained it was the Mountain Protection Grand Array. She snapped her fingers, and instantly a team of disciples rushed out, cupping their hands and shouting in unison, "Greetings, Senior Xing." She folded her arms and questioned, "Have you found out what damaged the array?" One disciple stepped forward with a grimace and reported, "Senior Xing, the Mountain Protection Grand Array has burst in 3 places. Preliminary investigation shows it was gnawed by those rampaging demon beasts. Only faint traces of demonic energy remain at the scene. We've already reported the situation to the Holy Core. The Holy Sun has announced he will personally come down to suppress the chaos. After hearing the report, her face remained calm as usual, not flustered in the least. "You've worked hard, go rest." The disciples shouted an acknowledgement and vanished. Lacking historical knowledge of this place, Zhao Mu asked, "So what exactly happened?" Receiving only Xingyugu's indifference. "Just some ragged demon bugs causing trouble. In the Holy Origin demon sect, that's as common as meals." He widened his eyes in curiosity. The Holy Origin demon sect itself is a demonic force, so why would demon bugs come into the headquarters to cause trouble? She had to supplement his historical knowledge. Since ancient times, the immortal martial continent has been split into two main factions, the human race and the demon race, sworn enemies. Caught in that mess, our Holy Origin demon sect is in an extremely awkward position. We don't have the demon race's approval, nor the human race's trust. Countless outsiders see us as a thorn in their side that must be removed. At this moment, he finally understood. So that's why it would be strange if the humans and demons here lived peacefully without biting each other. The two walked out into the courtyard, continuing their conversation. "I just burned too much spiritual power. I need to go upstairs and rest a bit, then I'll continue guiding you, okay?" Before stepping onto the stairs, Xingyugu turned back to warn, "Down here you can wander as you like, but absolutely do not go upstairs." With that, she turned and went up. He jiggled the pill bottle in his hand and grinned slyly. "I'm afraid soon you'll be begging me to come up." But drowsiness crept in and killed that thought. "Forget it, I might as well rest too." Stripping off his clothes and tossing them aside, Zhao Mu waded into the small pond. The cool water washed his body clean. The disciples of the Holy Origin demon sect really knew how to enjoy life. Each of them had a hot spring bath right in their own courtyard. Taking the leisure, Zhao Mu summoned the system to check and summarized his gains. He now had only 7 million spirit stones left. That was barely a drop in the bucket for cultivation, and just breaking through to foundation establishment level 6 alone would cost 100 million spirit stones. With the backing of 3 elders and the saintess, that Long Tian Xiang certainly wouldn't dare to openly come at him with a knife, but he could easily stab him in the back with underhanded tricks. Zhao Mu clenched his fists, determination in his eyes. "I must get stronger quickly." And the first step of this upgrade campaign was, starting with Senior Xing. Without further delay, he threw on his pants and dashed upstairs. As soon as he poked his head up, a bunch of sharp weapons were pointed straight at him. From behind the window, Xingyugu's voice roared, "What are you trying to do?" Zhao Mu panicked, raising his hands in surrender, trying to justify himself. "I'm wronged. I was just curious what's up here giving off such a wonderful fragrance. Please calm down, senior sister." Soaking in the cool water, Xingyugu smirked. "Do you think I don't know what dark thoughts you are harboring?" Although she was completely drenched and exposed in the water, she still confidently declared, "Anyway, don't even think about coming up here. I have already laid down layers upon layers of formations around this tower. Even a nascent soul expert who barges in would have to shed a layer of skin." He pulled the stopper from the medicinal pill bottle and smiled mockingly. "You are mistaken, senior sister. I have a feeling that not only will I walk up to the tower and sit down properly, but you will also personally invite me in yourself." The medicinal pill inside the bottle suddenly released a rich fragrance that permeated the entire space. A second later, Xingyugu quickly wrapped a bath towel around herself, kicked open the window, and flew out to stand towering in front of him. Her eyes were glued to the pill, while his eyes were fixed on the voluptuous chest in front of him. A grade 8 2 yuan pill. Xingyugu grabbed his wrist like a vice, demandingly asking, "Where did you dig this up from? Let me see it, quick." Seeing her long-desired item clearly, she immediately changed her tune, revealing a rare, intimate smile as she called out, "My good junior brother." Acting cute while standing on her tiptoes, she reached up high to grab the pill. "Why don't you let your senior sister examine this 2 yuan pill closely? I swear I only want to confirm if it is the real deal." Zhao Mu deliberately held his hand high up. "You can look, but no touching. What if you swallow it in one gulp and then complain that I sold you a fake. Where would I go to find justice? She held up 3 fingers and swore resolutely, I swear I will only use my eyes to look, absolutely no touching. However, because she lunged forward too far, the towel wrapped around her body slipped and fell to the floor. Although he had taken in the entire view to maintain a shred of politeness, Zhao Mu still turned his head away. This has nothing to do with me. Of course, Xing Yugu did not believe his innocence at all. Stop lying, get your butt up here and follow me upstairs. Zhao Mu smiled triumphantly and leisurely followed the beauty up the stairs. His goal was already half successful. There, didn't you just personally invite me up? He thrust the pill close to her face. Have you seen it clearly yet? After examining and sensing it thoroughly, she nodded in excited confirmation. Absolutely flawless, this is indeed a genuine grade 8 2-yuan pill. Her desire to possess it flared up intensely, and she cried out, Junior brother, just name your price. Even if I have to sell my kidney and smash my pots, I will gather enough money for you. His lips twitched upon seeing his senior sister's frenzied state. Actually, I am not short on money. Suddenly his nose sniffed, and he praised in admiration, it smells so good. He blinked and asked Xing Yugu curiously, where on earth is this addictive fragrance coming from? She immediately conjured an exquisite potted flower. How about I trade this potted plant straight for your 2-yuan pill? But this offer did not catch Zhao Mu's eye at all. Senior sister, don't try to lowball me and take advantage of me like that. No matter how fragrant this orchid is, how can it compare to my 2-yuan pill? Anticipating his dismissal, Xing Yugu smiled and recounted its origin. My father had to venture deep into an ancient secret realm to search for medicine for me back then before he dug this up. Elder Fen Deng personally appraised it. This is a grade 8 spiritual herb, and it is still in its growth phase. Once it blossoms and bears fruit, it might even surpass spiritual herbs and become a priceless treasure medicine. Hearing the notable words treasure medicine, Zhao Mu's ears instantly perked up in curiosity. She nudged his shoulder with her elbow and asked, how about it? If you agree to this trade, I will add another 5,000 spiritual stones on top for you. Although he looked hesitant on the outside, he was already calculating rapidly in his head. This Bai Lan Xian Zhai was more than enough to be used as collateral to exchange for good stuff, but looking at her anxious expression, he could probably fish in troubled waters and extract a few more good items. Having laid out his plan, he began to nitpick the flaws of the offer. Although this Bai Lan Xian Zhai species sounds fancy, the resources required to nurture it into a rare medicinal herb must be wallet emptying, right? It might even take 100 years of effort before it produces a finished product. As expected, his naive senior sister walked right into his trap once again. You are not wrong. Raising this plant species takes quite a bit of time for it to fully mature. Suddenly she stood up. How about I throw in some more good stuff for you? Her words startled him, and he blinked, asking, what kind of good stuff? Xing Yugu reached into the cleavage of her chest, pulled out a bright red piece of undergarment, and shyly stuffed it into his hand. This is for you. Seeing this undergarment, Zhao Mu waved his hands in panic. Senior sister Xing, do you take me for some undergarment-obsessed pervert? Xing Yugu puffed her cheeks in annoyance and channeled spiritual energy into the undergarment, causing it to instantly emit a dazzling light. You've misunderstood. Open your eyes and look closely. A set of golden armor transformed and appeared, and she proudly explained its origin. This is a grade 7 defensive Dharma treasure gifted by my father, named the Dragon Sinew Armor, forged from genuine dragon sinew and scales. It can not only transform into various kinds of clothing at will, but its defensive power is also incredibly tough. It can even block attacks from a nascent soul expert. Zhao Mu smiled with squinted eyes, stroking the high-quality item in his hand as he asked, since it is such a good item, are you truly willing to give it to me? Xing Yugu waved her hand generously. Keeping it is useless to me anyway. Most of the time, I just stay in this valley working on formations and rarely go out to take risks, so this Dharma treasure doesn't have much meaning for me. Zhao Mu quickly stripped off his upper clothes to try on the new armor. Thank you for the sponsorship, senior sister Xing, then I won't stand on ceremony. Witnessing his defined muscles wrapped in the golden armor, Xing Yugu suddenly felt her face grow hot, and her mind began to run wild with improper thoughts. So a man's body could also emit such a masculine scent. By the time he raised his head to look, she had already turned around shyly and slipped away. Zhao Mu's greed flared up strongly once again. Since his senior sister had just offered to give him spiritual stones, he would be a fool not to exploit the system's mechanism to make a fortune. He handed her a bulging bag. "Senior sister, I feel quite embarrassed taking so many good items from you. Consider these spiritual stones as my gift back to you." Xing Yugu accepted it calmly without the slightest suspicion. Immediately, the system's notification rang in his ears. "You have given away 50 million spiritual stones, triggering a 200-fold rebate. Successfully harvested 1 billion spiritual stones." This massive windfall made him ecstatic, and he laughed wildly in his heart. "With this, I can cultivate as much as I want without worrying about running dry." He quickly seized the opportunity to ask for a room. "I suddenly feel my cultivation realm stirring as if about to break through. Could you lend me a room to go into seclusion for a few days, senior sister?" She pointed casually to guide him. "Turn right outside the door and you'll reach it." In her heart, she was deeply shocked. How strange, this kid clearly just broke through not long ago, so how on earth is he about to rank up again? Is he really a monstrous genius? On the other side, as soon as Zhao Mu rushed into the room, he immediately sat cross-legged on the floor, summoned the system, and began to grind, putting all his effort into absorbing the massive amount of resources he had just acquired. Time flew by, and 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Outside, Xing Yugu paced back and forth, muttering listlessly, "It has been 3 whole days already. How is my junior brother doing inside?" Inside the room, a surge of spiritual energy, rolling like a tsunami, was enveloping his entire body. The explosive power was so immense that it ripped apart half of the clothes he was wearing. 8th stage of foundation establishment, breakthrough. At this moment, his physique was even more robust, and his skin radiated a brighter light than before. It cost a whopping 10 billion spiritual stones to break through the barrier of the 8th stage of foundation establishment. My black hole-like physique, its cultivation efficiency, is truly absurd. Suddenly, a voice rang out right above his head. "Did you just level up again?" Zhou Xiliang appeared out of nowhere, standing towering in the middle of the room. "My beloved disciple, how did things go last night?" Before answering this pry-happy old man, he clasped his hands to show proper respect. "Your disciple greets the master." Zhao Mu answered calmly, reporting, "Senior sister has taught me a lot of foundational knowledge about formations, and now I can already sense the fluctuations of the divine runes." Zhou Xiliang thrust his cunning face close to his ear, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "I don't have time to ask about your studies." Zhao Mu froze in confusion and asked back, "Then?" The old man's wrinkled face twisted into a mischievous grin as he winked repeatedly. "How do you find that girl? Do you like her?" Hearing this direct question, Zhao Mu was somewhat caught off guard and speechless. The old man continued in a mysterious, boasting tone, "Don't stare at me wide-mouthed like that. Your master will tell you a little secret. That girl you wrong's identity is not simple at all. Her name was Xing Yugu, but this master was used to calling her Yu Rong. She crawled out from the depths of the Wanyao forest, originating from the King Xing clan. Her father is a genuine, powerful tribulation transcendence realm expert who has immense influence among the myriad clans." Zhou Xiliang patted his shoulder repeatedly, calculating the benefits. "If you can win over this girl Yu Rong and bring her home, you can absolutely lie back and relax for 1,000 years without ever worrying about going hungry." Zhao Mu scratched his head and politely declined with a dry laugh. "My core mission right now is to cultivate and transcend tribulations. Your disciple has little interest in romantic entanglements." But in his heart, he sneered. "With such a heaven-defying system, why on earth would I hang myself from a single tree and miss out on the entire forest?" Suddenly, Fen Deng's loud cursing echoed from outside the courtyard. "You old geezer Zhou, if you know what's good for you, hand over my disciple right now." Zhou Xiliang crossed his arms in annoyance and clicked his tongue, grumbling, "That old man Fen Deng is as persistent as a leech coming to pick you up. His timing is truly precise." He pulled 3 secret manuals from his chest and threw them to Zhao Mu, warmly instructing, "Even when you go over there to learn furnace burning, you are absolutely forbidden from neglecting your formation studies. When you are free, remember to pore over these 3 books. No slacking." He caught the manuals and nodded quickly. "Your disciple understands." Master and disciple walked out into the courtyard. As soon as Fen Deng landed, he excitedly scrutinized him from head to toe, teasing, "Kid Zhao Mu, just looking at your gloomy face, I can tell how boring your formation studies must have been." The old man put his arm around his shoulders, whispering sweet words of temptation. "Our path of alchemy does require a certain level of talent and comprehension, but it is not as exhausting as those formation masters. Especially since you possess the pure yang body, as long as you use the fire control technique smoothly, you will easily achieve double the results with half the effort." Hearing this, Zhou Si Liang burst in furiously to interrupt. "Stop talking nonsense, you old geezer. My beloved disciple only just touched the divine rune plate and already detected 1,000 runes. Do you even understand what kind of shocking talent, unseen in 1,000 years, this is?" Fen Deng's eyes widened in astonishment. "What did you say?" He turned to stare at Zhao Mu, who was smiling politely, as if looking at a monster. Scanning 1,000 divine runes on his very first attempt. In the 8,000 years since the Sheng Yuan demon sect was founded, I'm afraid he is the only one who has ever done it. He immediately slapped his thigh in delight, waved his hand to summon a giant flying gourd, and ushered Zhao Mu onto it. "Forget about you, maybe your disciple's fire-controlling and pill-making potential is even more dominant. Let's go, come back to Yao Wang Valley with me right now." He swayed slightly from the surprise, but still responded clearly to the command. Leaving behind Xing Yugu's reluctant gaze as she reached out and called after him, "Junior brother Zhao." In the blink of an eye, the flight landed at Yao Wang Valley. As soon as their feet touched the ground, Fen Deng eagerly asked, "My good disciple, have you ever studied any fire attribute secret manuals?" Looking at the old man's expression, Zhao Mu answered briefly, "Your disciple has studied a little before." Fen Deng immediately waved his hand, and an alchemy furnace crashed onto the ground. The old man urged, "Excellent. Then use your full flame power to heat up this alchemy furnace. Your master will continuously throw in medicinal herbs, and your task is to precisely control the flame intensity. You are absolutely forbidden from letting the herbs burn into ash." Zhao Mu immediately channeled his fire power and replied, "I will give it my all." Saying that, he directed a blazing flame straight into the belly of the furnace. Standing nearby to observe, Fen Deng felt waves of astonishment rising in his heart at the resulting effect. Unbelievable, the pure yang fire is indeed outrageously powerful. He frowned, closely evaluating Zhao Mu's flames. But doesn't this feel more like the true sun fire? This is truly top-tier fire in the alchemy world. It seems this kid's aptitude is far beyond my expectations. In just a short moment, the medicinal pills emerged from the furnace. Fen Deng quickly snatched the hot pill, happily slapping his thigh as he praised warmly, "Well done, crafting a top-grade pill on your first try, you are indeed a once-in-a-million prodigy." Zhao Mu also replied with a modest smile, "Master, you praise me too much." Fen Deng stroked his beard, squinting as he guessed, "If your master is not mistaken, you must have awakened the Crimson Sun holy body, right? Only that constitution can unleash such pure true sun fire." Zhao Mu did not hide it and nodded in admission, "Yes, that is correct." As he channeled the flames, he reported honestly, "But your disciple only knows how to use the burning flame palm, and my fire control skills are indeed still quite lacking." Fen Deng waved his hand and laughed heartily. "It doesn't matter. In this Yao Wang Valley, besides refining pills, my unrivaled specialty is a treasury of fire attribute cultivation techniques." He turned around and waved to instruct him, "Follow me inside, pick a few of the best cultivation techniques, and cultivate whichever one you like." Zhao Mu clasped his hands and respectfully accepted the order. Stepping into the library pavilion, what caught Zhao Mu's eyes were countless jade bottles containing medicinal pills, making his jaw drop in surprise. "How are there so many medicinal pills here? I'm afraid this place easily surpasses the national treasury of the Sheng Yuan demon sect." Fen Deng strolled behind him and threw cold water on his excitement. This bunch is only a small portion of low-grade defective products that were just refined. Pills of the 5th grade and above are strictly protected in the treasure pavilion deep inside the central area of the sacred land. He reached out to pull a few secret manuals and threw them to him. These are all Earth-grade manuals. Take them and use them directly. Don't waste your eyes looking at that yellow-grade and black-grade trash in the corner. He raised his hands to catch them. Thank you for the gift, master. Zhao Mu flipped through the pages to examine them, his mind starting to calculate. Divine Fire Heretical Sutra, Crimson Flame Tyrant Scripture, Blood Red Earth Abyss Fire, Green Yang Vegetation Technique, Everlasting Life Technique. I really want to take them all, but being too greedy can be counterproductive, so I shouldn't bite off more than I can chew. He muttered as he evaluated each book. This Crimson Flame Tyrant Scripture follows a path of pure, violent fire power, delivering fatal blows, which is perfect for combat but not suitable for brewing medicine. However, this Everlasting Life Technique is also very good. Besides helping to enhance medicinal properties during pill refinement, it also serves as a rapid healing and recovery function during battle. After weighing his options, Zhao Mu made his final decision. Crimson Flame Tyrant Scripture and Everlasting Life Technique. I will choose these 2 cultivation techniques. Hearing this, Fen Deng frowned, tightly grasping his disciple's shoulder as he warned with a worried look, "My good disciple, it is not a bad thing for a cultivator to be good at fighting. However, that crazy old man Dugu Zhan, if he eagerly drags you by the collar and throws you into the Wanyao forest later for survival training, absolutely do not naively believe in his empty theories. That fellow has always been so obsessed with vanity that he would risk his life for it. He would definitely dare to throw you straight into the den of mutated beasts and leave you to fend for yourself." Zhao Mu clasped his hands and obediently said, "Your disciple will carve your teachings deep into his heart, master." Fan Deng smiled with satisfaction and replied, "It is good to be cautious. This old man does not want the precious disciple I just took in to have a short life." From outside, a female voice calling for the master made both of them look over. Tao Subai walked in, clasped her hands, and reported, "Senior brother's resting place has been fully arranged. Does master have any further instructions?" Fan Deng then turned to Zhao Mu and introduced her. "This is Tao Subai. She will assist you in your initial steps of entering the path of alchemy." Zhao Mu respectfully accepted the command. While following Tao Subai's lead, he curiously spoke up, "Junior sister, you joined the sect earlier than me, so why do you call me senior brother?" The girl answered calmly, "Senior brother Zhao is a personal disciple recruited by Elder Fan Deng himself, so in terms of seniority, your status is naturally higher than that of an inner disciple." Arriving at the destination, Tao Subai pointed at the luxurious housing area equipped with all amenities, advising, "I live close by. If senior brother needs anything, just call out, and I will be there immediately." Zhao Mu smirked playfully, his eyes flashing with a hint of teasing. "Will you fulfill whatever request I have?" Having said that, he suddenly wrapped his arm around Tao Subai, gently lifting the girl's chin with his finger as he whispered, "Then how about the matter of warming my bed?" Seeing the serious look on this girl's face, Zhao Mu felt an even greater urge to tease her. However, the killing intent from Tao Subai flared up intensely in an instant. She cracked her knuckles and warned in a low, cold voice, "Please watch your words, senior brother. You call yourself senior brother, but in terms of strength, I have enough power to crush you with one hand." Zhao Mu froze, quickly clarifying, "I was just joking." Only then did Tao Subai withdraw her killing intent and turn to leave. Looking at her retreating figure, Zhao Mu broke into a cold sweat. The aura just now even overwhelmed Mu-Ao at the half-step nascent soul stage. Could this lady be a nascent soul expert? After a while, they arrived at his private room. Before leaving, she said, "If you lack anything, remember to tell me." After seeing her off, he turned to inspect the room, nodding in satisfaction. Not a bad environment, and the utilities are very complete. Flipping open the pill manual, Zhao Mu frowned slightly. Although it was only a first-grade pill, the method of preparation was extremely complicated. He set the book aside, rolled up his sleeves, and decided to practice directly, taking the opportunity to train with the 2 newly acquired cultivation techniques. Waving his hand, the medicinal ingredients flew precisely into the alchemy furnace. Zhao Mu channeled two distinct powers from both hands, chanting in his mind, Crimson Flame Tyrant Scripture, Everlasting Life Technique. The two surging streams of spiritual energy poured into the furnace, driving the temperature up, carefully controlling the heat. The medicinal ingredients inside gradually fused together. A moment later, 3 pills had formed. Holding the pills in his hand, he stroked his chin and commented, "Their appearance is a bit lacking, but for a first attempt this is excellent." Through the monitoring screen, Fan Deng stroked his beard in admiration. This kid is indeed an extraordinary talent. Both his formation and alchemy talents are superb. Dugu Zhan stood beside him, rubbing his hands in excitement, reaching the 4th floor of the Ascent to Heaven path with only a foundation establishment cultivation. Combat is his true talent. I am looking forward to his performance at the Blood Battle Hall. Fan Deng crossed his arms and sneered. The human race is naturally slightly superior to the demon race in alchemy and formations, but in actual combat, we are at a disadvantage regarding physique and bloodlines. I hope the arrival of this kid will breathe a breath of fresh air and resolve the long-standing grievances of human cultivators. After 3 continuous days, Zhao Mu was exhausted. Looking at the pile of pills behind him, he sighed in relief. Practicing like this should be enough. Picking up one to inspect, he told himself that most were first grade, mixed with a few high-quality ones, which should be good enough. A knock sounded on the door. Tao Subai entered carrying a bowl of spiritual liquid. "Senior brother, this is the special spiritual liquid of Yaowang Valley, designed to restore spiritual energy and physical strength." Zhao Mu happily took it. "Just when I am exhausted, thank you, junior sister." Tao Subai's gaze swept over the pile of pills. She froze and asked in astonishment, "This pile, was it all refined by your own hands, senior brother?" Zhao Mu chewed calmly and replied, "Exactly. NV letter 1ED9, IH letter 1ECF, I therm. Is the quality very bad? My pure yang body's fire attribute is too strong, making fire control incredibly difficult." She frowned and glared at him. Is this guy deliberately showing off? She turned away, her voice cold. "Since you were accepted as a personal disciple by Elder Fan Deng, you are naturally a genius at alchemy. But don't ask me, I am not an alchemist." Hearing this, Zhao Mu became suspicious. Not being an alchemist yet staying at Yaowang Valley, with her strength deeply hidden, this junior sister Tao must possess an extraordinary identity. Fumbling in his pocket, he pulled out a small package and placed it on the tray, speaking generously. "Concerning what happened last time, I misspoke slightly. Now I have a small gift as an apology. I hope junior sister Tao won't mind." Tao Subai was slightly taken aback. Immediately, the system's voice rang out. "Ding, you have gifted a grade 4 windwalking pill, triggering a 1,000-fold return, obtaining a grade 7 windwalking pill. Ding, you have gifted 30 grade 4 foundation establishment pills, triggering a 300-fold return, obtaining grade 7 spirit gathering pills." Zhao Mu was thrilled but tried to suppress his laughter, thinking to himself, "This girl's beauty is top tier and her strength is high, so the returned gifts are indeed generous. I must work hard to build a relationship with her in the future." At this moment, Fan Deng's hearty call echoed from outside. "My good disciple, come out." Zhao Mu quickly ran out to greet him. "Your disciple greets the master." Fan Deng looked pleased. "No need for ceremonies. Your progress over the past few days has been noted by your master." He pointed to Dugu Zhan. "Today, you will go to the Blood Battle Hall with Dugu Zhan." Seeing him panting, Zhao Mu asked with concern, "Master Dugu, what happened to you?" Dugu Zhan placed his hands on his hips and snorted coldly. "I just cleaned up a few pieces of trash who didn't know whether to live or die. The area around the sect has not been peaceful lately, and the demon beasts in the Wanyao forest are stirring again. I originally planned to take you out for some real experience, but the current situation isn't looking very good." Zhao Mu suddenly remembered Xingyu Gu's words about the demons wanting to destroy the protective sect formation. He did not expect the trouble to be so severe that Dugu Zhan had to take action himself. Dugu Zhan waved his hand hastily. "Fine, follow me to the Blood Battle Hall first." Zhao Mu obediently complied. He calculated in his mind. It seemed the Sheng Yuan demon sect was facing hidden undercurrents lately. Before leaving, he turned to say goodbye to Fan Deng. "Master, your disciple will take his leave." Fan Deng waved and advised, "Go on, your master will have to go into seclusion to refine pills for a few months. Whenever you return to Yao Wang Valley, if there is anything, just look for Xiao Tao." Looking at the receding figures of the master and disciple, Tao Subai murmured softly, "Master, you have picked up a personal disciple who is a once-in-a-10,000-years genius." Fan Deng laughed proudly. How could this old man's eye for people be wrong? Along the way, Dugu Zhan explained, "The Blood Battle Hall has a long history that matches the age of the sect itself. For generations, the disciples of the Inner Hall have always shouldered the responsibility of resisting enemies. The Sheng Yuan demon sect has been able to stand firm until now entirely because of countless bloody battles." He clenched his fists, a heroic aura radiating from him. The protective sect formation is the shield, and the Blood Battle Hall is the proactive spear. Before the enemy can even approach, we must crush them into pieces. Zhao Mu nodded in understanding. Scratching his head, he asked in concern, "But Master, is it really fine for our demon sect to have such a passionate combat style?" Dugu Zhan crossed his arms and glanced at him. "In your head, do you think the demon sect is just full of despicable villains who use any means necessary for victory?" Zhao Mu laughed dryly, recalling his previous hardships. "Isn't that so? Your disciple was kidnapped and brought here by the outer disciples of the Sheng Yuan demon sect, after all." Dugu Zhan stroked his chin and mused. The world indeed views our Sheng Yuan demon sect that way. Partly because we are stationed in the Wanyao forest and rarely associate with other forces. In truth, whether it is the demon race or the human race, no one understands the ancient hardships of the Sheng Yuan patriarch. Zhao Mu became curious. Could founding the sect in this remote area contain some shocking secret? But Dugu Zhan did not explain further, only saying, "We have arrived." Stepping into the Blood Battle Hall, witnessing the intensely passionate training scene, Zhao Mu could not help but admire. It was truly a place where slaughter was the way of life. Everyone carried a fierce killing intent. A man and a woman stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Master." Dugu Zhan spoke. "Let me introduce you. This is your eldest senior brother Xiao Wu Gui, ranked 9th on the Tian Jiaobang, and this is your second senior sister Xing Zai Yue." Zhao Mu clasped his hands. "Greetings, eldest senior brother, second senior sister." Dugu Zhan commanded, "Wu Gui, go get the Wu Jai Zhang for me." He was stunned. "The Wu Jai Zhang? Do you think that's necessary, Master?" Dugu Zhan glared and barked. "What? Do you think the personal disciple I chose is not worthy of using the Wu Jai Zhang to be measured?" Xiao Wu Gui quickly lowered his head to cover up. "Your disciple dares not. I will fetch it immediately." Before leaving, he even gave Zhao Mu a sideways glance filled with malice. Zhao Mu watched him leave in confusion. "Did I do something to offend senior brother Xiao?" Xing Zai Yue covered her mouth and laughed flirtatiously. "Junior brother, don't take it to heart. Senior brother Xiao's personality is just naturally unpleasant like that." She suddenly reached out and pulled Zhao Mu close, whispering warmly in his ear, "Junior brother, rumor has it that you possess the pure yang body. Is it really that powerful?" Zhao Mu was startled and jumped back quickly. "Senior sister, getting so deep into my personal life upon our first meeting seems a bit too forward." Xing Zai Yue giggled. "Junior brother, you are so interesting. Your senior sister only wants to taste the feeling of the pure yang body a little bit." She pretended to sigh with sorrow. "Unfortunately, I have already been married, so you are one step too late." Zhao Mu looked at her youthful appearance in confusion. "You look so young, senior sister. Why did you start a family so early?" Xing Zai Yue put on a tragic expression. "I am already over 200 years old, and I've been married more than once. The worst part is my husband-killing fate. All 9 of my previous husbands died young. Mathematically speaking, your senior sister is an old maid who still hasn't fully tasted the pleasures of the mortal world." Hearing this, Zhao Mu got goosebumps. 9 dead husbands. Could this woman be the reincarnation of a black widow spider? Xing Zai Yue lunged forward to embrace him again. Bursting into laughter, Junior brother, don't be so tense, I was just kidding. I am only 27 years old and still a pure, unmarried maiden. Zhao Mu raised his head with a forced laugh. You really like to play practical jokes, senior sister. In his heart, he sighed. Does this woman have a single true word in her mouth? Right at this moment, the Wu Jai Zhang was carried over. Du Guzhan landed and reminded her, Zai Yue, stop teasing your junior brother. She obediently complied. Zhao Mu pointed at the large bell and asked, Master, what exactly is this used for? Du Guzhan explained calmly, this is a trophy I won from a bloody battle in an ancient secret realm. Although it is chipped, it still retains the pressure of a Grade 2 Dao artifact. It can no longer be used for killing now, but it possesses the miraculous ability to measure a cultivator's potential. He placed his hand on Zhao Mu's shoulder, his eyes serious. Your master needs to see exactly where your skeletal structure and aptitude stand. Only then can I decide whether to teach you the fighting heaven and earth technique. Zhao Mu nodded in understanding. Following the instructions, he channeled his full power and flew into the air, condensing spiritual energy into his fist. He delivered a furious, violent strike straight onto the Wu Jai Zhang. The sound of the bell reverberated deafeningly, causing all the surrounding disciples to widen their eyes in astonishment. The sound rolled far and wide in all directions, echoing all the way to where an ancient being lay sleeping, causing that figure to awaken. The sovereign of the human race has finally appeared. If the young lady knew of this news, she would surely be overjoyed. Unfortunately, it is already too late. The die is cast, and no one can alter the situation anymore. At the Wanyao forest, a group of high-level demons was also gathering. A towering figure stepped forward and asked in a booming voice, Did you all feel it? The human sovereign has descended, and the immortal martial grand formation is likely about to shift. The red-horned demon sneered, Shift. The sky has been completely sealed. What can they possibly achieve? He raised his chin, just go pay our respects to the old ancestor and then return to seclusion to save ourselves the trouble. The purple-haired demon grunted, speaking of which, the old ancestor probably knows the situation as well. Is there no instruction? The golden-headed one snapped, Don't bother the elderly. If you want to know, go ask him yourself. The purple-haired old man shouted, Shut up. The emergence of the human sovereign is by no means the work of an anonymous nobody. He coldly ordered, each side send a few scouts to the plains to investigate the situation. The 4 subordinates obeyed promptly. Zhao Mu turned around and inquired, Master, was that strike just now all right? Du Guzhan coughed repeatedly, stroking his chin as he pretended to be calm. It looks decent. However, his heart was in turmoil, not expecting this brat to cause such a shocking disturbance. Just how heaven-defying were his talent and skeletal structure. Xing Ziyue glanced at Zio Wu Gui and teased, If I recall correctly, eldest senior brother's test results back then weren't quite as explosive as this. He froze in embarrassment and covered it up. That was only because I didn't use my full strength back then. Du Guzhan raised his hand to cut in. No need to check further. From now on, you will follow me to learn the war heaven and earth art. Zhao Mu acknowledged the order. The so-called war heaven and earth is not a rigid set of moves, but a state of mind, a blazing battle intent. Starting now, you only need to observe carefully the changes in my aura. I will demonstrate correctly only once. Zhao Mu strained his eyes and focused. Du Guzhan burst out his spiritual power. His true form emerged, carrying an overwhelming might. He gathered his strength and threw a punch that tore through the wind, bringing down a devastating force. Withdrawing his stance, he asked, Have you realized anything? Zhao Mu clasped his hands and replied, War heaven and earth is the desire to use power to seize dominion over all things. Du Guzhan was silent for a moment, then patted his shoulder and praised, To see one layer of meaning is already outstanding. Zhao Mu felt a bit disappointed, thinking his master was not yet satisfied, and muttered to himself, I should have waited until after breaking through to core formation to increase my comprehension before learning this. Du Guzhan further explained, This art cannot be forced. To advance, you must roll between the lines of life and death. The more you fight, the the stronger you will naturally become. With that, he handed Zhao Mu a scroll of the holy primal art. I have another secret manual. Practice this first. It will rapidly boost your combat power. Zhao Mu asked curiously, does it have anything to do with the holy primal ancestor? Du Guzhan nodded. Yes, it was created by the holy primal ancestor himself. He smacked his lips. Though it is only earth-grade superior, if you cultivate it to perfection, its power is no less than heaven-grade arts. Zhao Mu nodded in understanding. Du Guzhan instructed, stay here for the next few days and cultivate in peace. Zhao Mu respectfully complied. Du Guzhan glanced at his two other disciples and warned, you too, do not disturb your junior fellow disciple, especially Zai Yue. Zai Wu Gui muttered that he understood. The girl blinked and coquettishly said, understood, master. Back in his room, Zhao Mu opened the book and read. Could not help but exclaim, truly top-grade stuff. Even with my current comprehension, practicing this gives me a headache. He realized this was not an offensive martial skill, but a secret art that amplifies spiritual power by extremely strengthening the meridians, not by squeezing potential or burning life force. Beginning to circulate his energy, Zhao Mu murmured, meridians are the conduits for spiritual power, and tempering them is extremely difficult. The holy primal art achieving this shows the skill of the holy primal ancestor. He put on a serious face and resolved, let's see how many times I can expand my spiritual power. 3 days later, Zhao Mu withdrew his spiritual power and looked at the dancing flame in his hand, muttering, a miniature version of the blazing flame palm. He casually tossed it forward, only to find the tiny fireball created a rumbling explosion, triggering even the defensive formation of the room. From behind, a cold female voice sounded, the formation is active, yet you still managed to cause this much damage. Your speed in comprehending the holy primal art truly astonishes me. Zhao Mu turned and saluted, greetings, Zai Xuan senior sister. And Zai Xuan stepped forward, lifted his chin. Her sharp eyes fixed on him, you have already passed the trials of the 3 elders, so you should change how you address me. Zhao Mu awkwardly called out, Master. And Zai Xuan waved her hand, I have already spoken to Elder Dugu, now you come with me. Before he could react, several invisible tentacles tightened around Zhao Mu, and in a flash they dragged him away, thrown heavily onto the bed. Zhao Mu scrambled up, bewildered. Holy maiden, where are you taking me? And Zai Xuan gracefully climbed on top of him. She leaned close, her finger pointing at his chest, and asked, Zhao Mu, do you know why I took you as my disciple? Zhao Mu frowned in confusion. Surely she covets my blazing yang power, but asking so bluntly is redundant. And Zai Xuan's voice was soft but threatening. Think carefully before you answer. Zhao Mu understood, guessing that she did not want to reveal the matter, so she used the pretext of taking a disciple to easily control him. He promptly said glibly, Master took me in, naturally because she is enamored with my outstanding cultivation potential. And Zai Xuan smiled faintly, pinched his chin, yes, only for that reason, no other. She sat up straight and instructed, you are a smart person, I'm sure I don't need to spell it out, do I? Zhao Mu patted his chest and assured, Master, rest assured, your disciple will keep his mouth shut. And Zai Xuan stepped down from the bed. Just as in Luo, and in Yuan entered and saluted in unison. She ordered the 2 maids to take Zhao Mu to his new cave residence and give him a pass token. Outside, Zhao Mu waved cheerfully, hello, 2 senior sisters, we meet again. And Yuan smiled back. While Zhao Mu unceremoniously wrapped his arms around their waists, last time we were so intimate, I forgot to ask your names. And Luo puffed her cheeks and turned her head. Who wants to tell you? And Yuan leaned into Zhao Mu and advised her sister, don't be so harsh, be more open-minded. We'll be living with junior fellow disciple for a long time. She turned and coquettishly said, I am in Yuan, and this is in Luo when we arrange the rooms later. Please be gentle, junior fellow disciple. Yuan shyly explained, even though we are puppets, our bodies still feel pain from hits. And Luo glared, he's just a rude brute who doesn't know how to cherish flowers and jade. Zhao Mu rubbed his chin smugly. The elder sister was cold and aloof, the younger sister gentle and submissive, truly interesting. He noticed the things in their hands. "What are you carrying?" And Luo replied irritably, "Meat and blood essence of a dragon at the transformation realm. The Holy Sun just hunted it in the myriad demon forest, cut out 2,000 caddies to offer to Zai Tian cave." And Yuan added, "The master has long abstained from eating, so she took it to nourish your body." Zhao Mu swung his hand and slapped in Yuan's bottom, making an Luo shriek. "You madman, why did you suddenly hit her?" Zhao Mu tilted his head arrogantly. "Do I need such things to replenish my yang energy?" Then he pinned both of them down on the bed. Grinning wickedly, "Let me show you what true power feels like." After a bout of torment, broken gasps echoed out the door. "You bastard! I told you to be gentle. Actually, I can still endure." And Zai Xuan heard it, blushed, and muttered, "Just squeeze him dry and be done with it. Why make such a scene?" On the bed, the Tuan sisters were limp and exhausted. Zhao Mu put his clothes back on, frustrated that he could not wring any more return rewards from them, and cursed inwardly, "This damned system is forcing me to be a playboy." He turned to ask an Luo, "By the way, what is the background of that Holy Sun? Why is he so good to master?" She gasped weakly. "He probably admires the master." Holy Sun Jun Mo is rarely at the sect, but whenever he returns, he sends people with plenty of tributes. Zhao Mu looked at the pile of dragon meat and smacked his lips. "So he's just a lovesick simp for the holy maiden." He bit into a piece of dragon meat, his eyes flashing with determination. "But the first 10,000-fold return reward from the holy maiden, I will never let anyone take that." Stepping outside, and Zai Xuan glared at him, "Finally showing your face." She tossed him several rare treasures as compensation. Zhao Mu happily clasped his hands, as expected of the holy maiden, so generous. "Thank you, master, for the reward." And Zai Xuan waved her hand, "Just payment for your hard work." She rested her chin and continued, "Niu Ao has been thrown into the demon palace for punishment, at least a year without seeing sunlight. But as for Long Tian Xiang, I couldn't stop it. I could only temporarily postpone his marriage to the granddaughter of Elder Lu Hai." Zhao Mu's expression changed. "Even the holy maiden can't handle Long Tian Xiang." And Zai Xuan folded her arms and said sternly, "No matter how aggrieved you are, you have to accept it for now." Zhao Mu wisely yielded. "Disciple understands." He clenched his fists, killing intent surging, "But I swear I will settle this debt with my own hands." And Zai Xuan looked at him, then dismissed him. "Get lost and remember to report 3 times a month." Zhao Mu complied. And Zai Xuan smiled teasingly. "And remember, before I squeeze you dry, you are not allowed to die." Zhao Mu laughed back and left. As he walked, he stretched and calculated. It seemed the day of getting the huge return reward from the holy maiden was not far off. Looking into the distance, he thought, "Now that I'm a personal disciple, I need to grab a plot of land in the inner sect to build my own cave paradise." Suddenly, a shrill female voice came from behind. "Stop right there, are you Zhao Mu?" Zhao Mu sighed wearily. Another ox demon. These bullheads were as persistent as leeches. He raised his hand and calmly asked, "Yes, I am. What relation are you to Niu Ao?" The ox demoness tossed her head and declared, "I am Niu Yulan, the biological sister of Niu Ao." With that, she pulled out a heavy mace and demanded a fight. "You got my brother thrown into the heavenly demon palace. I swear I'll never be under the same sky as you." Zhao Mu raised his hand to stop her. "Hold on, don't you know that disciples fighting without permission is a capital offense?" Niu Yulan pulled out a challenge token and aggressively demanded a duel. Zhao Mu calmly reminded her, "You should remember that I am a personal disciple. Inner disciples like you have no right to directly challenge me." Unable to fight, Niu Yulan burst into tears in frustration. "I don't care, you bullied him, you have to pay." Zhao Mu was speechless. He raised a finger to correct her. "Hey, stop, you say I bullied your brother." At that time, he clearly used his status as an inner disciple to stand up for Niu Tai and oppress me, an outer disciple. He tapped his finger to emphasize, 1,000 people witnessed it, and now you dare to slander me." Niu Yulan was stumped, embarrassed to realize she had been led by the nose. So she quickly bowed deeply and apologized. I didn't know my big brother was so confused. Hearing he was beaten, I rushed over to settle the score without finding out the truth. On his behalf, I kowtow and apologize. Zhao Mu curled his lips and put on a pitiful act. If the holy maiden hadn't arrived in time, I'd be a pile of bones by now. I dare not accept the apology of the Niu family. Niu Yulan felt even more remorseful, stepped closer and pleaded, I will do my best to compensate. Whatever you want, I'll agree. Zhao Mu tossed out a brush and blank paper. Words are cheap. Niu Yulan took the brush and vigorously wrote a pledge. Then handed it to Zhao Mu, written in black and white with a blood seal as proof. Niu Yulan will never break her word. He smirked inwardly. This girl was indeed easy to fool. Zhao Mu leisurely suggested, I'm short of a maid to handle chores. From now on you will serve me. Niu Yulan's eyes widened. Be a maid. Zhao Mu raised an eyebrow. What not willing? She hesitated. My status as an ox demon is also respectable. Becoming your maid might disgrace my family. Zhao Mu thought for a moment and decided to bait her with temptation. What do you like most normally? Hearing it was food. Zhao Mu immediately poured out a mountain of flood dragon meat. Niu Yulan's eyes lit up. So much meat. Zhao Mu gave a thumbs up and promised, become my maid and this pile of meat is all yours. Niu Yulan did not hesitate and knelt down. Niu Yulan is willing from now on to be a maid by Zhao's senior brother's side, fulfilling all his requests. Zhao Mu lifted her chin and teased, so what should you call me now? She blushed shyly, Master. He patted his new maid's head and ordered, clean up this meat, then help me arrange the cave dwelling. Niu Yulan happily accepted. Ding, you have gifted 2,000 caddies of flood dragon meat. The return station gives back 2,000 times. You have received 20 caddies of true dragon meat. Zhao Mu smirked triumphantly. Such legendary creatures meant the system was truly generous. He walked ahead, instructing her to quickly build a cave so he could go into seclusion. Niu Yulan pounded her chest in assurance. And before long, the cave was set up. Inside, Zhao Mu immersed himself in cultivation. My strength overwhelms peers of the same level, but my battle experience is still too little. Studying formations more will greatly boost combat power. Start with the basics. He activated a wind formation, requiring the engraving of 30 basic divine runes. Outside at this time, Xingyu Gu had just arrived for a visit. Seeing Niu Yulan, she was surprised. Are you the daughter of the Ox Demon King? Niu Yulan proudly replied. Yes, but now I am the master's maid. Xingyu Gu fumed with jealousy. That stinky brat really has time to fool around everywhere. She handed over several formation books and asked Niu Yulan to guide her to deliver them. Suddenly, a violent fluctuation hit them. Xingyu Gu frowned. Such powerful divine rune fluctuations. Inside, Zhao Mu raised his hand to complete the final step of the wind formation. The shockwave burst out, sending both Niu Yulan and Xingyu Gu flying, tearing their clothes to shreds. Zhao Mu stared wide-eyed at the scene he had caused. He looked at the whirling wind formation in his hand and clicked his tongue, wondering why its power was so terrifying. From afar, Xingyu Gu screamed in panic. Junior disciple, what kind of formation are you messing with? Zhao Mu turned abruptly and quickly replied, Ah, Xing Senior sister. You came just in time. The book you gave me seems to be faulty. He frantically opened the book and pointed at a page. I swear I followed the instructions exactly, trying to condense an ordinary wind formation, but it turned into this roaring gale. Xingyu Gu raised her hand to shield herself and hurriedly waved. Wait, junior disciple, stop for a moment. Her face flushed with embarrassment, she mumbled, Before we discuss formations in depth, could you please find me a change of clothes? Zhao Mu then realized the situation, hastily fetched clothes for Xingyu Gu, apologizing repeatedly. I'm sorry, I was so absorbed in studying the divine runes that I didn't notice my surroundings. She snatched the clothes and glared at him resentfully. I'd rather believe you did it on purpose. At that moment, the system's voice sounded in his head. Ting, you have donated 2 sets of clothes. successfully triggering a 1,000-fold return reward. You have received 100 pieces of ultimate-grade attack speed gear. Zhao Mu raised an eyebrow curiously. Ultimate-grade attack speed gear. But when he saw the appearance of the items, he was immediately speechless. He cursed inwardly. System, you call these rags that barely cover anything attack speed gear. Can this be considered proper? After Xing Yugu changed her clothes, she regained her serious demeanor and demanded, "Quick, show me the formation pattern you just drew." Staring at the wind formation, she looked utterly bewildered. Strange, this structure is clearly the most basic wind formation. Theoretically, it should not be able to create such devastating power. Go outside and demonstrate it from the beginning for me. Zhao Mu nodded, yes. He skillfully channeled spiritual power to his fingertip and sketched a wind formation. As soon as the formation took shape, it emitted an overwhelming, solid aura. Xing Yugu scratched her head in confusion. Junior disciple, how did you do that? Zhao Mu also scratched his head blankly. I swear I just obediently copied the divine runes exactly as in the book. Xing Yugu had an idea. Try switching to a fire formation. Watch me demonstrate, do exactly as I do. Zhao Mu obediently replied, yes. Xing Yugu gracefully condensed spiritual power to form a blazing fire formation. She thrust her hand forward and shouted, go. Then she tilted her chin at Zhao Mu, your turn. Zhao Mu followed suit, focused, and condensed a fire formation. He thrust his hand forward and yelled, fly. With a bang, his formation hit a distant rock and exploded into a towering inferno. Xing Yugu's eyes nearly popped out, her jaw dropping. What the hell is happening? Being stared at like a freak, Zhao Mu awkwardly scratched his cheek. Senior sister, why are you looking at me so intently? Xing Yugu murmured in analysis. The formation is not at fault, so the only culprit must be you yourself. She touched her lips suspiciously. Could the blazing yang sacred body be so overpowering that it enhances even fire formations? But that doesn't make sense. What does the wind formation have to do with your pure yang power? While mumbling, Xing Yugu suddenly tore open the fabric of her clothes right at her belly. Zhao Mu's eyes bulged, frozen in shock. He panicked. Senior sister, what are you doing? Men and women should not be intimate, don't act rashly. Xing Yugu immediately waved it off. Enough talk. The divine runes must be directly engraved on the skin for me to clearly feel the difference. Zhao Mu extended his finger radiating spiritual power and hesitantly asked, am I really allowed to do this for free? Xing Yugu blushed and urged, stop dawdling and do it quickly. Zhao Mu brought his finger close to her skin. As soon as he touched it, Xing Yugu immediately felt the surging power expanding. Unable to contain the overwhelming sensation, she unintentionally let out a loud cry. Zhao Mu was startled and quickly asked, Senior sister, have you sensed the cause? Xing Yugu shakily wrapped her arms around her body and said in astonishment, I feel it, the divine runes you engraved. They are larger and thicker than mine. Hearing this, Zhao Mu's brain nearly short-circuited. He blushed deeply, thinking, what does that mean? Senior sister isn't teasing me, is she? Seeing him dumbfounded, Xing Yugu quickly explained more clearly. Don't misunderstand, I mean divine runes are a form of power. The thicker and coarser the lines, the more terrifying the power contained. She looked puzzled. The current situation is definitely due to your freakish constitution, but whether it's related to the blazing yang sacred body, I'm not sure. Zhao Mu folded his arms and thought, this must be because of the Blood Emperor. Ancient bloodlines probably have higher compatibility with heavenly divine runes than ordinary people. Just as the atmosphere settled, Niu Yulan leisurely approached and called out, Master, you've been practicing for a while, must be tired. Would you like to have a meal and rest? Zhao Mu nodded. That makes sense. Xing Yugu heard the address and was stunned, repeating, Master. She shot a sideways glance at Zhao Mu and said sternly, Junior disciple. You just got the Ox Demon King's precious son thrown into the heavenly demon palace, and now you dare to eye his daughter. Be careful that old bull comes after you with a blade. Zhao Mu grinned. Senior sister, rest assured, I know how to handle things. She grumbled in annoyance. You dark-hearted thing, you know how to handle things, yet you've left me in tatters. Before them was a table piled high with meat. Niu Yulan smiled brightly and reported, Master, I've cooked all the meat you gave this morning. Zhao Mu nodded approvingly. Not bad skills. Sheng Yugu looked at the food, drooling, and asked curiously, what kind of meat is this? It's bursting with such rich blood qi and spiritual energy. Zhao Mu chewed and casually replied, oh, it's meat from a transformation realm flood dragon. The Holy Sun gave it to my master, the Holy Maiden, so I got to share. Sheng Yugu gasped, my God, such luxury can't be bought even with a mountain of gold. I can't believe the Holy Maiden favors you that much. She rested her chin and winked teasingly. What a pity, if you were a woman, you might have secured the position of successor Holy Maiden. Oh, I heard there's a pill that can change gender, want to try one? Zhao Mu nearly choked, waving his hands in panic. This is a serious matter concerning a man's honor, don't joke about it. From now on, don't mention this to me. Sheng Yugu giggled, I'm just teasing you. Actually, I came today with another important task for you. Zhao Mu felt a sense of unease and said, Senior sister, please instruct me. She slowly took out a Kaiyan-kun bag filled with spirit stones and gently explained, Master knows well that your formation cultivation has been difficult, so she specifically sent me to deliver this bag of spirit stones to support you. There are about several billion spirit stones inside, enough for you to cultivate comfortably in the coming time.